I'm going to give you a lot of credit here because you're one of the first drifty boys to hop into one of these cars, and you've now recruited at least 3 of your other homies with some others that have been interested as well. So, I mean, how are you feeling like a proud dad moment right now?
Yeah, it was super cool. So it was all natural, right? Like, it was like I went to a Sunoco commercial shoot with the GR86. They had the rush cars here. They asked me to drive them. My lap times were good, and before I knew it, I was going to Mid-Ohio at GRIDLIFE to race. And then from there, I ran into the drift dudes in Road America, and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, try this thing out, and look at us now, you know?
You guys are all just a bunch of kids that are having fun, and you're just changing toys. I think it's a lot of fun. So how did you do in that first session?
So I was actually, I went out with Forsberg, and I stuck with him. I did really well, but I was like a little less than a second off. So I'm a little later to the pace. I got 11th, which is still cool for me. I think there's 39 of us roughly here. So we're up there, you know. I was shaving like 2 seconds off from first practice to second practice, so I know there's a lot more in there. I just got to put it out.
Absolutely. Is there one thing that you're working on today in order to increase your time or decrease your time?
I mean, like my data shows that I tend to just like put it on later in the race. I don't know how to word that, but like I'm not really that fast out of the box, so we're seeing that right now, right? So I was like 139s this morning, 137s in the second practice, and now we're down to the 136s, so a little late to the pace.
It is so cool how you get to see all those little minute details. Very cool. I love it.
Yeah, that's the difference between like drifting and rush racing, right? Is there is so much data, and the clock doesn't lie. So when Forsberg comes in, and you know he's third, and I was pacing with him, I'm like, man, you know. And so, but it's really cool. Stoked. Thank you, Sunoco. Thank you, Rapscallion, for hosting all of this, and GRIDLIFE, of course.
We're so glad you're all here. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
This is the secret sauce right here to getting second place is getting third place first. All right, we are here with Blair. Blair, you have some incredible drivers behind you. Is this what you saw in your 2024 bingo card, Chris Forsberg standing next to you, and you're talking about strategy?
Not necessarily, but I'm not complaining, obviously. I mean, look, it's been such a cool end of the year, right? You know, we started off GRIDLIFE at the beginning of the year with a national series, and the car counts were sick and stuff like that. And then we had this crazy guy called Nate Hamilton pull up, and he's like, hey, I want to race a rush. We're like, all right, cool. And then the tsunami came in. So we got Chris, TJ, Grant, all these guys, and they're killing it right now. So.
It has to be incredibly affirming, both for you and your dad. Is he here this weekend?
He is here. He's running around like a chicken with a head cut off, but he is here.
All right. Now, this is just for me. What's on the menu this weekend?
So we've got, we're doing a full Scottish night. So throwback to me and my dad. So yeah, we're doing.
Can you tell me the menu in a Scottish accent?
I can, lad. So firstly, we're doing prawn cocktail for the appetizer. For our entree, we're doing short ribs and chicken in a Scottish sauce, which is a Scottish sauce. And then for dinner, we're doing sticky toffee pudding with pints of Guinness, Belhaven, and Scotch.
That sounded so much more delicious hearing you say it like that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Extra spice on top.
Exactly.
All right, so I'll see you guys there later. Rush SR does a wonderful job in their activation. The way that they take care of these drivers, it's really been a pleasure having you guys here all season, and seeing you grow has been really inspiring, so thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, it's a blast.
Good job, bud.
Thank you.
All right, TJ, you just got off track. Obviously, this isn't your aptitude. You're very comfortable in your drift car. You're getting into a vehicle that you haven't raced in before, and you're at Laguna Seca. I can sense that things didn't go how you wanted, but how are you going to adjust to make it go your way?
Well, when it comes to today's race, it's just trying to keep eyes up. We know we have a time that will be among the top 5, so it's just using that to our advantage and trying to use our racecraft knowledge to getting around the traffic, let other people make their mistakes, just be consistent, try to play games, try to be in their head, try to be in their mirrors, let them know we're there, force mistakes, and just try to capitalize. And qualifying was really tough, didn't go how we go, just never got the clean air, but there's always tomorrow. So just today, focus on just being on people's mirrors, letting them know they're there, and keeping a good time.
Usually when you're at GRIDLIFE, it's all for fun. You just take your car out there, you just try to get the dopest lap, you try to get on somebody's door, and then you get back to the pits and you have fun with the homies. Here, you actually have data that you're going against.
Yeah.
And you actually have a goal and benchmarks, and you have a coach that's getting you through to the next race. What's been the most fun, I guess, adjustment going from your drift car to these SR cars?
Just playing in a completely new field. In drifting, it's its own thing, and it's such an outlier compared to the other motorsport. And now coming to this, using everything we've learned in the drift car on just how to feel a car, how to set a car, how to drive a car, and coming into someone else's playground and trying to learn and be competitive is the most fun thing. And it's a different level of I'm pissed right now. So it's good. It's why we're here. That's the emotion we want. That's why we try to be faster and faster. But it's a whole different world, and we're just happy to play in it.
What's cool, too, is that you might have this competition, but you also have drifting, and you also have, what is it, track battle or time attack?
I think it's time attack on Sunday.
So you're breaking GRIDLIFE history. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't get a record in this car, you're at least getting the historic mark of doing all 3 events for the first time ever at GRIDLIFE.
Yeah, we run 3 different groups with the Porsche, this, and the drift. So it's pretty cool. It's a hectic schedule. I think we're about to put the helmet back on and go in the drift car and go back out and then try to get lunch and then go back out for our first race. But I mean, that's why we're here. Like, GRIDLIFE has the opportunity where if you want to play in all fields and you have the ability to do it, you can do it. And that's something you can't get anywhere else.
Okay, well, we'll watch you. Best of luck. Have fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and GRIDLIFE Laguna return for the season finale of the GRIDLIFE Festival Tour. Welcome back. It is a beautiful sunny Saturday here in Salinas, California. Earlier today, the sea breeze and the low-hanging fog put us in a delay, so we're a little behind this afternoon. Apologies for that for those waiting at home, especially on the East Coast. But we are so excited to be back for the last live stream day of the year, and this is the last show of the year, Greg. We've been from South Carolina to Michigan to Wisconsin to Connecticut and all the way out here to California, finishing out on a high note.
Yeah, trust me, folks, if you are just tuning in, it's going to be worth the wait. So you may have had that delay, but believe me, you are going to enjoy what's coming up here. A little bit of everything at the very highest level of GRIDLIFE competition on a legendary venue for the 2nd consecutive year to wrap things up. Pretty cool, Kyle.
It absolutely is. Of course, as always, GRIDLIFE Live is brought to you by Falcon Tires, the official tire of GRIDLIFE Track Battle, and NOS Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of GRIDLIFE and the title partner of the NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack. This racetrack, this place, and this race, this is a special track in North American history. Built in 1957, 2.238 miles around, 11 corners, and they're all special. A couple of them weren't always here, turns 2, 3, and 4, but Greg, this racetrack is one that everybody looks forward to driving.
Well, it's iconic on a lot of levels, isn't it? And, of course, the corkscrew is the most iconic part, but that doesn't mean there's not other challenges. Andretti hairpin, really interesting fall-away double apex downhill, then turns 3 and 4, new, built in 1980. Then the crucial corner here, for all the others that are so well known, turn 5 and turn 6, you've got to get them right because you're just climbing straight up the mountain and into the iconic corkscrew, the approach to which happens to be a fabulous overtaking area.
And then into turn 8, that's the corkscrew, 59 feet, 5.5 stories, then another 5 stories down to the bottom of Rainy Curve. That is a fast left-hander. Into turn 10, you're going to the right there. Leading into turn 11, another fantastic passing opportunity, but a trouble spot as well. You're arresting about the most momentum you will around this racetrack in this final turn. All of that happens in a Rush SR car in about 1 minute and 36 seconds. These cars are 1,000cc GSX-powered, chain-driven sports racers. They weigh very little. They have a 6-speed pneumatic shift sequential transmission. They're great race cars. We've got a field of nearly 40 of them, and the racing this weekend has been electric, and in particular, the Team Rapscallion cars, Greg. They had some trouble in race 1. Chris Forsberg and his teammate Sheldon Rosenbaum got together, but they drove through the field in race number 2, and then requalified this morning and did very strong there, too, as well.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Chris Forsberg right up into 3rd again in terms of qualifying, so really been a revelation watching what he's able to do. And, you know, you're talking about the momentum down into turn 11. You're basically just all the way. You're falling down the mountainside. And what you don't realize is there's a fair amount of banking in turn 10, which makes it a tricky corner because you can ramp it and you think, okay, I'm going to have to drive it more like a corner. And you can actually drive it more like a little bit of a sweeper and use that banking to good effect. And if you get it done right, you can literally dive down to the inside, or if somebody decides they're going to cover you, you can pop to the outside down there as well. So tons of really tricky corners here, but none more famous than this one.
Yeah, this is that 59-foot drop. Just behind this, there's a DJ set up there, and race fans, if you're here at the racetrack, go over there and check out the DJ playing right by the corkscrew. One of the most famous corners in the world. There it is. There's a great look at it, and all the fans that have joined us up there. I'm not sure if they can hear us all the way up there, but they have a great vantage point. They've got great music up there, and more music by Madion and San Holo later tonight down at the main stage here in the paddock. paddock. Look at that view. It's like, I mean, we're not in Bathurst, but it sure feels like it could be.
It has that feel, doesn't it? It really does. You're right. And here's the interesting thing, too, about the way that this is laid out for tonight. On these festival weekends, you know, you go to a lot of tracks and they'll have music in the evening. It's on a stage way over somewhere in a massive spectator area. Not here. The stage is right in the paddock, because that is part of what is renowned as the paddock vibe with GRIDLIFE. Is you can come and listen to music, wander the paddock, and all the teams and the drivers and the crews, they're hanging around because they're just enjoying the music as well. They love to talk and, you know, fill you in on things. It's very special here on these festival weekends.
Well, let's get you through the starting lineup, or at least as far as we can, on a very quick pace lap here with nearly 40 cars. It's the Rush Stig, Colt Gamma, Chris Forsberg, and Rob Radman that make up your front two rows. Forsberg only in his second ever event in Rush SR. Then it's Kaylee Countryman, a strong effort there. P5, Alex Chang, the race 1 and 2 winner in 6th place. Michael Schneider, Mitchell Cooper, Hassan Ahmed, Brett DiGiacomo, and that will round out your top 10, Greg.
And in the 11th spot will be Brian Tompkins. Then the 12th spot will be David Madison. 13th, Nate Hamilton, another guy only in his 3rd time racing. Nick Billingsley, watch for him to move up with Nate as well. 15th spot, Jacob Gailey. 16th spot, Ryan Kircher. 17th spot is going to be Sebastian Beaupre. 18th spot, John Parkinson. 19th will be Sheldon Rosenbaum, another one of those cars you were talking about. He should be charging big time. And then 20th, 53, Kyle Melnick.
TJ Hunt making his first ever wheel-to-wheel racing start here this weekend. 21st place in that number 28 car. Ryerson Whistle starts 22nd. Gage Hughes in 23rd. Then Glenn Dagonet in 24th. John Robinson 25th. Then Larry Brady, Vilas Saldana. Team JC Racing, Kelsey Billingsley, Team Rush Central Texas. And then to finish off, Grant Anderson, Bill Lasser, Rahul Nair, Elizabeth Byerly, and Andy Vogel make up the rest of your 35-car field. Rush SR, these cars start at about $40,000. This is racing on a budget, but the car is anything but as far as its performance. The pace car, the Hyundai Elantra N, peels off to the driver's left, and it's time to go racing for about 15 minutes here this afternoon. The first of Saturday's races here for Rush SR.
And watch Vogel, dead last. He's finished as high as 4th yesterday. He's going to be flying through this track.
He absolutely will be, and it's time to get rolling here in just a moment with Rush SR, race number 3 from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Here we go, green flag, and we're underway.
And that pesky Stig, of course, leading him up the hill. But look at Gamma. Cole really rebounded in qualifying this morning with a great qualifying effort. He's going to try and round him up. Tough to do on the Stig, but the Stig floats wide. And that might be Forsberg trying to dive down underneath. Did he get it done?
Squeeze and slide. One car sideways across the road, and everybody scatters. We're 4 wide. Let's try 5 into turn 3 now, and somehow they filter that out. That was impressive.
That really was. And that little move by Forsberg, diving down underneath both the Stig and Gamma, that actually gave the Stig a little bit of a quick breakaway here. And Radman is coming up on the back of this group, and he has been super fast. In one of the races yesterday at fast lap.
Yeah, really impressed with that start, with that one car that went wide, and everybody somehow dodged it. Into turn 6, side by side for 3rd place. That was dicey, and Forsberg has to back out there on Radman. That was really tough math there.
Yeah, Radman really was aggressive into 6. Forsberg, I think, showing a little bit of even though he doesn't do a lot of door-to-door racing, understanding it's too early to defend that and maybe end up off in the gravel out there. But now he's got to gather it up, because the guy who's going to be coming after him pretty soon, you got Snyder and Chang, and we know how fast Chang is there in that white and orange Rush SR just behind this group.
And Schneider is in a backup car. I believe that's the kind of black and white 75X car that's running in 4th place now, or make that 5th rather. Now he's in a backup because of the collision in race 1 and trouble out of turn 11, and that's Forsberg. He did not go, leaving that hairpin turn, and everybody's scattering now for 3rd place.
Yeah, I wonder if he was just missed a gear there. Look at that across the line. And it's Gamma 2nd, Radman, Schneider up into that 4th spot in a backup car. Talk about a great race. Hamilton is already up into 6th.
Yeah, he jammed his 144 car down the inside of Alex Chang. Chang left him some space, and then Countryman and Billingsley going to war behind him for 5th place, 6th place.
Man, this is such good racing always here. Chang, with that little bobble now, is able to move up just a smidge as well. And tell you what, Kaylee Countryman.
There's a yellow at turn 5, Greg.
Yeah,
so
okay.
that will keep anybody from passing down here. I haven't seen what for. Then a big lunge from Chris Forsberg, really late into the zone there, but remember it's a yellow, so if he makes that pass there, going to get himself into trouble. I don't see anything that would indicate that we needed a yellow at 5.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Billingsley, who we had talked about being so fast but qualified 14th, he's up into 8th right now. So there are some of these guys making their way through the field.
Dropping down 5.5 stories. It feels like even more than that in a car that's a little smaller than an average race car. But
you know what that tip in and that first little thing reminds me of? Being at the top of Lombard Street in San Francisco.
It certainly feels like that. Full course caution. And there is someone stopped somewhere that we couldn't see. So that will bring out the yellow for the first time in this race. And there is our answer, and it was actually in the gravel runoff at 5. We just didn't get it picked up. This should hopefully be a pretty quick recovery because the safety crew, the rescue guys, are already on scene. As you see the ticker light up, everyone's just past the start line there and will get picked up behind the safety car. This should hopefully be a 1 or 2 lap yellow only, and I imagine we'll get some more racing in.
And we love this track to be sure, but one of its downsides, and it's kind of designed this way for motorcycle racing, right? And the reason that we have a fair amount of cautions at this place, and it's because the curbs are very flat so that bikes can run up on them and not get bounced off and into the air. And then there's this gravel behind to catch them. And in this case, because those curbs are flat, you run wide, you drop a tire, you get in there, you get stuck right away. And especially in these cars that ride so close to the ground. And so, unfortunately, that's maybe the downside of this place is you get a few more yellows generally than you do at some other tracks.
Yeah, and I think the gravel here especially, it's not deep that it's going to sink cars into it, but it does stop their momentum, which is what it's all about. And very nice work there by the safety crew. Look how quickly this is going. And I'm feeling pretty confident that we can get back underway this lap. There is another car slow, top of the screen.
Okay,
that is not moving. And that could be a mechanical problem, perhaps. TJ Hunt, by the way, is dropped down to 35th. Is that the car we're looking at getting pulled out? So Ryan Kircher in the 46. Well, there's one of the Sunoco cars is stuck there. Can't really get a good look at the number on that.
Fairbaum, maybe? I mean Rosenbaum?
It might be. This could be TJ, I would think, because I thought he was one of the Sunoco cars on Team Rapscallion. Unfortunately, this is going to extend our yellow flag period here because while they were extracting the one car, this other one I just had to stop. So it's like playing whack-a-mole a little with them. But
well, it gives us a chance to talk about these cars a little bit. What's great about this is the whole concept behind these cars was how can we create really exceptional performance but keeping it really simple so it's inexpensive. And from the ground up, the way they've designed these cars, you talked about it, very reliable Suzuki GSXR engines and chain drive. So we got a very basic gear system. You can change gears easily by just changing the sprocket. And the panels on the car are all modular. So if you have an incident, you just pull that little module off and slap a new one on. Very inexpensive, and you don't have to, redo an entire part of the car, the entire back or whatever. And it really keeps the run cost down a lot. And then the initial outlay for the purchase of one of these things, relatively speaking, for this performance is nothing.
It's really a great amount of performance for the dollar, and they're actually adding another category next year with the Rush SRX, which adds a whole lot more power, DRS, and push to pass, and that comes a little bit more money, about $80,000, but the horsepower gain, it's going to be an epic track day machine, and certainly bringing multi-class into this environment. We do only single-class racing typically, so that'll bring something new. I think Sheldon Rosenbaum's dropping down the order, so again, I can't.
Sure looks like it.
And then TJ Hunt was also down the order in the 35th position, so there's a few cars that have dropped out for various reasons. One in the gravel, one on the backstretch.
And Ryerson Wissell is the other. There's a third driver that struggled right from the off here too.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down. Now he might be the car that was in the
gravel. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So same story here.
That's a shame.
Going to get this car up on the hook and with any luck, we'll get things back going. If you see the white flag waving there, that only means that it's the final lap if it's waving at the leader from the main flag stand. If you see it anywhere else, it's to signify a slow-moving vehicle, which in this case is the safety and recovery vehicle. And the waving yellow is to signify that this is a sector with an incident that you cannot pass in. Of course, all the other corner stations will have the double yellow, signifying that the safety car is on track.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask while we have this moment, I heard you say something a little bit earlier. If there is, if the track is green, but there's an incident at a corner, so there's a caution flag, is it past the incident where you can resume racing, or do you have to go to the next flag station?
In GRIDLIFE, it's the next flag station,
okay.
and that's just because you never know if there's a secondary incident that you can't see yet,
right.
So that's the rule. And then the where you can't pass anymore once you get to the parallel line that runs across from the corner station across the racetrack. Now, we don't allow you to race to the corner station, so if you're side by side, you're not supposed to just stay full throttle and see who gets there first. You're supposed to concede that as carefully as you can. But great quick recovery work. 2 cars with a couple different issues off course, or about to be. And I would anticipate the next time we see that Hyundai Elantra and safety car, we will be seeing the lights shut off. And that is the 87 of Rosenbaum there. And you see I was confused about it because it had different colored bodywork on the right front because he had an incident yesterday. So
yes,
that was where my head was. Down through Rainy Curve. This is the corner everybody talks about. The corkscrew, yeah, that's the one that you know. You come here and Rainy Curve is the big business.
And you see how it tightens up a little bit on the exit. It's actually a decreasing radius corner, and you're falling down still another 5 stories of elevation as you're going through it. That's pretty tricky stuff. Even though it's got a little bank to it.
Safety car in. And we've got probably 4 to 5 minutes remaining. If I had to take a guess, we'll see it on the timing. But again, we don't run these to a specific time. We just have a block that we can use. So here we go. Out front, the Rush Stig, Colt Gamma, Rob Radman, Schneider, Chang, Hamilton, Billingsley. Under the gantry, green flag is back in the air, and we're underway again. Radman with a huge jump to the right side of Gamma. He wants second. Here comes Schneider in the 75 car down the front straightaway.
And look at Chang way tight to the inside. I hope he doesn't just think I can get it all done here. He doesn't. He backs out of it a little bit. But he does get underneath Radman as Schneider throws Radman. And that allows Chang here to have a shot. Radman now to the inside in 3.
As quickly as Radman was gaining spots, he just lost 2. And a big wiggle. That'll allow Hamilton to take a look at him into turn 4. But he'll stay right nose to tail here. And Hamilton's going to lose a spot there. I think that was Billingsley in the 9.
Yeah, Nick has just come up through the field here doing an absolutely incredible job. Chang now taking a look as well on Schneider and gets underneath and keeps that door open. Watch for Radman to try something here.
Chang would love to catch those 2 leaders. He was the car to beat yesterday. Didn't qualify that well this morning. Bit of a squeeze onto the curbing for about 7th spot. They've sorted it now and up the hill towards turn 7.
Look at Schneider hunting on Chang here. He is right back after him. Here we go. Up into the top. Schneider. Nice shot.
Lunge.
Big one.
That was from Hamilton, I think. And he got alongside. And the spin, I think that might have tagged. Oh, he saved it, but that was a little push and shove there. And just shuffles the order a little bit.
These guys, they just race so hard. So, that's Hamilton now. And was that?
That's Forsberg.
That was Forsberg that made that move.
Well, they were bound determined to do their battle from Lime Rock all over again, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Ooh, look at that. Radman is just rolling that thing around the track right now.
Onto the front stretch this time through. I don't see a white, so it's at least 2 laps to go. And here comes the 64 of Forsberg to the inside. Excuse me, pardon me, contact. 3 wide into turn 2. That's not going to work. And somehow they get through there.
They're
4
wide. 4. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. And Radman just calmly hangs on to it. Now Schneider going to try and get back underneath Hamilton. Can't get that done. And now here comes Billingsley.
He wants back in. Billingsley does in the number 9. Takes the swipe. Swiper, no swiping. Tuck back in line up to turn 5.
Wow, what an exchange here. This is awesome. 3-car breakaway up at the front, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 essentially could very well be into this. And then another scrum here, back in the pack just a little bit. That's probably 4th, 13th, and 14th, racing furiously.
I think Melnick was the teal car there. And look at the 75. He had a major slip into turn 2 and just got way offline into the marbles. And he lost 3-4 spots. And that's when the Team Rapscallion cars got to the inside, and man, Nate Hamilton slammed the door shut and straight lined it to the apex, didn't he?
Absolutely he did, and that actually parked Forsberg now as well. And now working the outside of Forsberg for an instant. Was that Countryman?
Bodywork flying off the 75.
That's Schneider.
And he's tangled, and the right rear wheel has gone flying. And there it goes.
Wow.
Back across the racetrack there.
Oh.
And this will almost certainly bring out a full course yellow to end this race.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think what happened here is that the 75, and I think it was Forsberg that was next to him, they might have touched. And I imagine there was some kind of failure that happened after the contact that sent him for a ride. But the clock is elapsing now as the field rolls now through turns 2 and 3, and it's the Stig over Gamma over Chang, and there's the full course.
Yep, and I didn't see if a white flag had come out at start finish either, as we were still at that point looking at that incident, so not really sure here. But as they came through, it's the Stig, Gamma, Chang. I would think the Stig will probably pit, so it'll be Gamma, Chang, Radman, and then Hamilton and Forsberg, and Billingsley, Countryman, Beaupre. So
wow.
Curious, sir. Boy, they do race furiously.
They do. And that was a wild ride. The whole right rear wheel came off that 75. He's had a tough weekend.
He
this
really
weekend.
has. Really has. Super quick every time he's come out, even in a backup car, but always seems to have somebody give him the little nudge and go.
Yeah, well, again, it was just so tight there for the corkscrew. I mean, the corkscrew, you mentioned it's a passing opportunity, but it's one of those corners that you have to race to, maybe not through.
Bingo.
And so
you
got to go down the hill single file, and that didn't happen, I think, and they just got tangled in Rainy Curve, and it just there's body work there that came off
the back.
I wonder if the wheel came up and just took the body work with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I just think that there was a tangle, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to get a look at it or not if we caught the initial contact. But coming across the stripe here.
Well, the Stig stayed out.
And
so
there's the checkered flag.
The win. I'll be darned. Normally, the Stig pits.
Rush Stig picks up race 3 here. Cole Gamma, Alex Chang, Rob Radman, Nate Hamilton, your top 5. Then it's Forsberg, Billingsley, Countryman, Beaupre, and Gailey, the rest of the top 10. And a wild race 3 here. And it's interesting. Statistically, GLTC's race 3 is the one that you have all the mayhem in.
Exactly.
I think Rush has borrowed that. We were joking at Autobahn. James Houghton was saying we're going to call it race 7, just to throw off the stats book a little.
That's a great idea. And how about a shout out here to Beaupre? Started 17th, ends up 9th. That's a heck of a run by Beaupre.
Yeah. So interestingly, the wheel does look like it has some damage on the inside there, but it doesn't look like the hub came with it. But either way, there is the 75, and he's just stayed put for now, which is what you're supposed to do. And could have sheared the studs off or something. I mean,
something. That's just bizarre.
But well, let's take a look again at the results against Stig, Gamma, Chang, Radman, Hamilton, top 5 there. But what a drive by Alex Chang there up through the field. He finishes up on the podium there as he's done so far this weekend. And man, Greg, we have another one of these to do a little later today.
I know. Can't wait. They do 2 races, and unlike the GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, if you're familiar with that, where we do 4 races. So we take a look at the highlights here. Here, it's 2 separate days of activity, and there you can see. Look at that move by Gamma on the outside, and there you can see that big lunge, and everybody gets through. There's that moment.
Yeah, big slide there at the exit of the corner. Trying to see what car. There was a 39 car that had that big slide. And then Forsberg just didn't get drive off of turn 11. Maybe just didn't get the gearbox right. Someone spun in the speedy dry in the background there. And then just a lot of great racing here. This was the first full course yellow for a car that was stalled in the gravel at turn number 5. On the restart, Rob Radman tried to be the hero on the outside, but the 75 of Schneider saw the opportunity, drove by Radman. And then things got pretty spicy up here at the front.
Yeah, exactly. Watch Radman now side by side with Chang. And then things got really tricky up here in the corkscrew. There was that big moment, that lurid slide.
And then 4 wide at the exit of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's a tight squeeze there. That was with a 75. And it just let go. Yeah, no contact. It just let go on him.
So that, I think, that was probably a hub or stud failure of some sort and let that wheel go. So that's good to know. I mean, that, it wasn't contact. Somebody didn't take him out. You hate to see that.
Yeah, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We've got some content to show you, and we'll be back with GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Race 3 right after this.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, and when it comes to classics and high-performance cars, I only trust America's #1 racing oil, Valvoline VR1. It's built on Valvoline's long legacy in racing, so I can continue to build my own. With 2 times more zinc than the industry standard, VR1's high-performance formula is tested on the track and trusted on the road to ensure your engine is protected from metal-to-metal contact. And I use it so much, I haven't got my car on the bottle. That's why whether I'm racing or cruising, I protect everything I drive with Valvoline. Valvoline, trusted for over 150 years.
How'd I do?
Great if you're not looking at the clock.
Sure you got that? I had to be faster than that, right? 100% NOS, zero sugar coating. New NOS, zero sugar. Get after it.
For those who demand winning performance on the track, off-road, and everywhere in between, Falken has you covered. Falken Tires, delivering exceptional performance to exceptional drivers since 1983.
We're doing Laguna Seca factoids. Whoa, look it. What? Okay, that's kind of sick. And if you didn't think the corkscrew could get any cooler, we got an air show. Guys, we are here at the historic Turn 8 at Laguna Seca Raceway. We have a 5.5-story elevation change from the top of Turn 8 all the way to the bottom. This track was built in 1957. It's 2.5 miles long. And in totality, we have a 10-story elevation change from the top of Turn 8 all the way down to the bottom of Turn 1, which is just insane. We have some insanely fast cars here this weekend, guys, ranging from, what is it? I think we have a Ford GT that's at like 1,500 or 1,800 horsepower, all the way down to some S2000s that also can throw down at Laguna Seca. This is a very big moment for a lot of these drivers. They have dreamt about this. They have played this track in Forza, and now they get to actually see what it's like in real life, which is just incredible. Fun fact, I was out here running the track this morning, and so I got to have my feet on the ground here at the corkscrew, and it's just like no video can do it justice. Like no video can actually do it justice how severe the angle is unless you actually get into a car and you can see what it's like for yourself, because you just go weightless, you know? My God. It's incredible. This means so much to so many people to finally be here and to watch these cars go around the track for the first time, whether it's in a spectator position or it's in a car themselves. This is just a very special track, and we're happy to be here. All right, guys, we are here at the historic corkscrew. Have you driven this track in Forza?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and what does it mean for you to be here now watching these cars come around?
Surreal.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Every time I'm here, it's like a unreal moment.
You get like butterflies?
No, I've been here a few times. So
Oh, okay.
It's not like the first time I was here.
And how about you?
It's awesome. It looks way different in person, like the elevation change.
Yeah, and I see you got a camera. Are you taking media shot? Like, what is it? What are the shots looking like?
They're all right, just for my personal use, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna look at them later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And have you been to a GRIDLIFE event before?
No, this is the first one.
You're the first one?
Yeah, first year.
Fantastic. Where are you from?
We're from here.
Okay. Okay, so locals. Do you have any musicians that you're excited to see on the lineup tonight?
I'm going to be here for that.
Ooh, okay, bummer. How about you? Are you going to be here?
Yeah, I'll be here tonight for a little bit, but I don't know anyone. I'm just excited to see.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And what so far has been your favorite series of driving to watch on the corkscrew?
Probably the drifting.
Yeah.
I like the time attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come around.
Yeah.
They're like scraping and just like that. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're not supposed to dig holes.
What?
You're not supposed to dig holes. It's a state park.
What?
You have a hole.
Sorry, it's my home under there.
That's where you're living?
Yeah.
Oh, you're very clean for living in the dirt.
I make a shower over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Question for you. Yes. What is the coolest car that's on track right now?
Oh, the E46.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That blue one?
No, the gray one.
Oh, okay.
It's cool.
All right, so big BMW guy?
I'm a bit new guy.
Awesome. Good luck with your hole.
Thank you.
What is your favorite car that you've seen come around track so far?
E46 forever.
Oh, see, best car?
In my opinion, yes. I used to have one. It has effect also.
Hondas are better, he says.
Only Beamer, and Porsche.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is sign language at the racetrack for 2 cars. I honestly suffer greatly from FOMO. Not this weekend.
For so many, this track, driving it, are a dream come true. Some have driven over 2,000 miles to be here, some more than that, and for some, this is their local racetrack. Welcome back to GRIDLIFE Laguna and WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Greg Creamer. It's time to go racing once again for GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, our wheel-to-wheel racing series, power to weight, single-class sprint racing, and it's a 35-car field. And not quite our season finale. We've got a couple more rounds after this, but this is the season finale for the Festival Tour, the 5 big events on the GRIDLIFE schedule. Greg, welcome back.
Yeah, it is so good to be back here. This is such a storied location, to be sure. So much history has unfolded here over the years, and it's got the iconic corkscrew. Look off in the distance there. That's the marine layer over the Monterey Bay. This setting is spectacular, and if you know anything about GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, you know these guys put on spectacular racing.
They really do, and we've seen 2 amazing finishes so far. Of course, as always, GRIDLIFE Live is brought to you by Falcon Tires, the official tire of GRIDLIFE Track Battle, and NOS Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of GRIDLIFE and the title partner of the NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack. And we're about ready to get racing here. The cars are making their way over the crest and going to double up on us soon. This is gridded by the finishing order from race 2 earlier this morning. Baton Rosenberg and Justin Ross are your front 2. Here's a quick look at the track map, Greg. 2.2 miles around here, 11 turns.
Just about everything gets thrown at you here, obviously. The Andretti hairpin, you fall away down into it, double apex, then turn 3 and 4, really flat, really tricky corners, actually. And that are the new ones built in the 80s. And then you climb up to the corkscrew. It's intense.
It is intense, and it's time to go racing. Double file, Rosenberg and Ross have put on a show so far this weekend. Let's do it again. The penultimate race of the weekend here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, all the way to California, the last round of the Festival Tour. Here we go. Green flag, and we're underway in GLTC. Nice launch by Rosenberg, and there's Wishmeyer up the inside in that Honda Civic.
Yeah, he's been racy early. He had a problem in the first race yesterday after qualifying well, came back in the second race, and then a little too hot there, and I think he just tapped Zhang, who swept around the outside of him, but down to the inside comes Moore, and Moore's got business, but already we're dueling for the lead.
And this time Ross doesn't want to let it go. He's learned once, he's learned twice. Make a fool out of me. Not this time. Into turn 4, side by side for the top spot. Ross squeezes Rosenberg out to the edge of the candy stripes and now defends into turn 5.
Now watch, this is where Rosenberg made a pass before. Too early for him to risk it this time. But what a start by Moore, up into third, taking advantage of opportunity. That is some great stuff behind him. Wishmeyer and Wood, I think, are scrapping it out as well.
And Alex Audi to the inside of Peter Zhang, so they're scrapping for 4th spot. It might just be the front 3. Remember, Larry Moore won the final race of the weekend last year. We know that car can win races, and he's chasing 2 drivers he knows are going to fight.
Yeah, that's the thing he can really play with a little bit, can he? He can sit behind him, and they can really get after it, and if they slow each other down somewhere, he can pounce, but they've already opened up that margin. Wishmeyer had dropped back into the 6th spot. He's now back up into that top 5. So he's had another bit of a yo-yo first couple laps here.
Yeah, Wishmeyer again dropping behind Zhang, and then in the background we saw Adam Wood in the 207. That white Subaru makes some moves on the opening lap. A lot of speedy dry still over there at turn 11. You don't want to be too far offline. Wood all the way out to the edge of the blue as they finish the first lap.
There comes more. Look at this side by side. A little bit of damage from that contact to Wishmeyer's right front corner, but doesn't seem to be slowing him down at all. Dives down underneath Zhang, but then maybe that damage to that splitter. Well, Zhang went wide, and that's going to let Wishmeyer through.
Yeah, but Zhang did a nice job rounding off the exit of the corner, so he'll still have the preferred line here into turn 3. And it's such a flat corner. This whole first sector, I really think you have to be on the inside lane to keep grip, and Zhang is going to get that spot right back.
Well, it's so flat, and it almost has, when you're at speed through there, it almost has an off-camber feel. And you just feel the car wanting to walk itself to the outside of the track. So you're right, you need to be pinned to the inside through 3 and 4, and then you better get a drive up the hill that's massive, because it's a massive hill.
Yeah, up all the way to the top of turn 8. 11-story climb. Oh, Zhang, you can hear the tires protesting that turn in that time. And then it's Wishmeyer, Audi, Borcheldt in the 925 clawing his way forward. And then, oh, you heard a splitter scrape the ground somewhere there.
That was Ross.
Oh.
That was Ross, right as, and that's the thing, it's that compression right when you hit that lower apex curve of the corkscrew. It's pretty fierce. And that's definitely got Wishmeyer as that splitter dragging on the ground. That was from that little touch he had with Chang.
And that's just going to cause a lot of vibration and just be very distracting in the cockpit. So he might know what's going on, he might not, and it really reduces the confidence you have, especially when you peak out here. Probably around 125 to 130 miles an hour is where you're going to be at the end of this front straight, and it's not going to be a lot of fun to drive.
Well, what happens, you can see it bouncing like that, and yeah, it's an annoying scrape sound as the battle behind these guys. Look at Borcheldt, Wood, side by side here. But every time that splitter comes up and then drops, it closes down and then it opens up, lets air in, then it shuts down. And the front end of that car is going to feel really unbalanced.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's actually running as well as he is, all things considered. But Borcheldt gives that spot to Adam Wood, moves him into 7th place. Wood is one of the drivers competing in the FCP Euro Pacific Championship, which constitutes the racing that happened at COTA in the spring, at Willow Springs, here at Laguna Seca, and then at Thunderhill in November. So he would like to accumulate as many points as he can, especially because the front runner in that championship, one of them at least, Michael Hilo, had issues this weekend and isn't competing.
Yeah, so you hate to see it for any competitor, but you're also going to take the opportunity. That's just part of racing, to say, oh, I'm going to build my points up a little bit here and maybe close them down just a little bit as we continue to watch this fun battle, and kind of waiting to see Steniford has dropped back just a little bit from where he started, and he had a top 10 finish in the previous race, but and he started a really solid 7.
Well, he's about to pick up 3 maybe, because Aronowskis, Dominici, and Fiona Lou's up there, I think, as well. No, that's a green car instead. That is Dominici in the 173. Lapid, rather. Yep. And they're all together. And this is a really interesting battle. Here comes also Zat to the inside. That's Lapid in the 350.
Lapid. Yeah, sorry about that. You were correct.
And up onto the front straight. Here comes the 173 of Dominici on Borcheldt now. And yeah, he's dropped a couple positions on this lap.
Yeah, he's got in 73. He's got inside position. That's the 173 of Dominici. He's got nice inside position. Doesn't always mean you're going to get the pass done. And nice job. Actually, I thought he might just float out a little bit too wide and open that opportunity up again for Aronowskis, and it didn't happen. Excuse me, for Borcheldt.
Yeah,
but he pushes wide there.
Into the dirt.
What you were talking about.
Yeah. It's just so flat. If you don't get turned in right, it just does not stick. And we've seen that a lot at turn 2 as well, the Andretti hairpin. And Borcheldt's trying to cover Dominici. And Aronowskis now up the inside at 5. A little smoke in the background from someone dropping a tire. And Steniford will give up another one.
Great battling going on right behind them as well. Rosales, Lapid, Marchev coming up through the pack after a little issue in qualifying, having to start weighing him back.
There's a piece of something went flying off of somebody's car, just a little piece of debris, but it's not anything major, but it landed center track.
Okay.
Just something interesting to note. And this is a real stack up now heading into the corkscrew behind Borcheldt, who I think is fading a bit. but it's not easy to get overlap and make a pass around here. You have to set it up for a while. Big pop of flame out of the Dominici's car. And here comes Tony Marchev. How about this drive from the Black 17 S2000? He got taken out in the first race of the day, drove back up to the tail of the field, and now he's back battling for a top 10 spot with this lunge on Steniford.
And he started 27th, and that he's battling right now with Steniford for 11th. So that Marchev has just put in another, it's a cliche, but it fits, storming drive. Just really cool stuff.
Steniford looking left, looking right on Aronowskis into turn 2. Vitas is in there really hard. He's going to wash out wide. It opens the door for Steniford to tuck it, spin. The Lotus, the Elise goes for a slide. Wow, that was wild. That was Bow in the 97, I believe.
Yep, Adam Bow, correct.
And he just got all crossed up and just the magic slip and slide through the hole there.
Yep.
That was very lucky.
Yeah, he was so fortunate. And Steniford is just being absolutely relentless on Vitas Aronowskis right now. They're just swapping it back and forth. And again, Rosales, wow, Marchev down to the inside. Thought he could get it done there as he's gone by on Rosales.
And slow car. Is that Borcheldt? That's real slow?
It looks like it.
Or is that somebody else there? I think it is Borcheldt. It just looked like he missed a gear. It just didn't go.
Well, and again, you know, we talk about this climb up the hill, and these cars, they're quick, but they're not massive power. And so the minute you miss a gear, make that little mistake, when you're climbing a hill like that, you're just going to be so slow. And that makes it a real challenge here. So Dominici, Aronowskis, and then the blue car of Steniford.
No, Steniford's offline in Rainy Curve.
Yeah.
Rosenberg just ran a personal best, reels in Ross just a touch. He's got some work to do, though, if he wants to repeat his wins from earlier today. And we mentioned that Rosenberg needs to win 3 races this weekend to walk away from this event leading the series championship. If he does anything less than that, he will likely not do that. So he really needs to capitalize, because the next time he's going to race points leader Luke McGrew is in 2 weeks' time.
Well, and I wonder if Baton is now, since he couldn't lead and then defend like he had on Ross.
Oh, trouble
there
for Tony Marchev.
And again.
I don't even know how he...
That's a weird spot.
I don't see any tire marks really leading there, but yellow flag at the corkscrew. We'll see if he can get it rolling, and my heart breaks for Tony, man. He has just had a tough day today.
It's been so fast. I mean, just really been a rocket ship out there, but you're right.
Has he been in the wall?
In terms of the results. He
might have. The left front there.
Oh, left front, yeah.
Well, that is
actually too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at the bottom, and it's on driver's left, and he did get into the wall, and there's the full course caution with only 3 minutes to go. So that might seal the deal for Ross, but unfortunately for Marchev, that is a tough place to have it off.
I was just going to say that, you know, since Ross got the jump this time and Matan couldn't lead and defend, that Matan may have just been laying back, saying, I'm going to keep tires underneath me, and then I will attack a little bit later. And this may have, hurt that. On the other hand, if we do get a very quick cleanup somehow, Matan, that gap's going to get made right up.
I'd like to consider myself an optimistic guy, but I think the left front on that car
is pretty dinged.
Was not sitting at the right angle. I think there is some suspension damage to it. So didn't see a white flag, so we're going to at least do 2 more. And it'll get picked up behind the safety car here. But Justin Ross, I know he'd like to race Rosenberg for the win, but I'm sure he'll take one either way.
You bet. You always will take it. Yeah, you might prefer to be able to get out there and really scrap for it, but you'll take a win no matter how. And, Matan might be a little frustrated, or might be, and sometimes, he was quick, and then you make a little tweak on the car and you sort of over-massage it, and you've gone a little too far now, and then the car's not quite right. And so then it's, and the way you earn championships, we talked about it before, wins are great, points win championships. And if you're in a scenario where the risk to go for a win, for whatever reason, the car's just not underneath you to be able to do that, well then, the smart play is take second, take third, whatever it is in terms of points, and don't throw away those points in a probably futile attempt to go after somebody who's quicker. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but that's, there's so many dynamics that go on here. That's why I love calling this sport high-speed chess, man.
So I was just looking down because I was wondering if Justin Ross had been here last year, and it doesn't look like he was. So
I didn't see him on the finishing results last year.
Yeah, so this is his first weekend, and we've talked at length about Justin and how much of a a stellar job he's done racing Rosenberg this weekend. But, you know, this is a real message sent, I think, to the entire GLTC community that there are drivers in other regions that will take it to you.
Yes.
And I think Justin is proven that this weekend. I think Matan is going to walk away with a new racing buddy, which is what this is all about.
Sure.
But growing the series across the country, this was the goal of GRIDLIFE when moving out to the West Coast. Was, you know, there's a huge audience out here. It's like another country.
Yeah.
And to bring the series, the sport, the rule set to a different part of the world, different part of the country, and have a wide adoption is the idea. The idea isn't to have, you know, the Rosenbergs and the Catilles of the world trailer their cars 3,000 miles every year.
Yeah.
The idea is to build a community that spans the country, and I think we are starting to see that with GLTC, with the field size we have, with the strength of the field that we have, and unfortunately for Tony Marchev, I think this race is going to end on a flatbed.
Yeah, it's too bad, but you're right. I mean, just look at the size of the entry entry here, and how many are season regulars. Not many.
Not many.
I mean, this is being embraced, and I think this rule set is really attractive, Kyle. The way that Adam Jabay and the team have structured it, where you can take almost any car and make it work in this rule set. Yeah, if you've got a big humming V8, you may have to restrict it quite a bit, but we can make that work. If you've got a high revving screaming inline 4, we can make that work. And you see that all the time, is that you just can race so close. The competition is so fierce. And let's see.
What are we going to get? I'm curious about this from the flag stand.
I don't see a checker.
I don't either. And
if there's no way they're going to restart, they wouldn't just let them trundle around under. So are we going to get a green white checker?
Maybe. I mean, we have at Autobahn Country Club a couple weeks ago, we did, and I don't know if this is going to be consistent across the season, but we did start under yellow, throwing a checker instead of having a white and then a checker, because if you're already under yellow, you know the next lap is going to be yellow anyway. So I would just think that if they were planning on doing that, they would have just displayed it here. So the white, I mean.
Yeah.
So they must be confident. I can tell you, looking at the schedule, that we're already behind, that we have drift scheduled in about 5 minutes, and we've got TrackBattle Podium Sprint in 25 minutes. So we don't have a lot of time here. So my guess is that we're either going to get the checker next time by, or they'll give us one lap and tell everyone to hurry down on the cool down lap, because we have got a lot of stuff to do still today.
Well, I think, I mean, normally you'd say, okay, just checker it, right? But I think the powers that be in this series looked at the previous 2 races in the last couple of laps and went, well, we can't deprive the fans of that.
You know, this is why this is such a fan-friendly series, Greg. Is it would be so easy. It would be easier to put in the rule sets that a race is 15 minutes exactly, or a race is 7 laps exactly. But we don't do that on purpose. And the reason is, well, you get this scenario where, you know, you can maybe get an extra lap in your time slot if time allows.
Yep.
But the other reason is because this is about the love of racing. And if you can go an extra lap, makes the race better. What's the harm?
Nobody's going to complain about it. Maybe the guy in the lead,
well, you know,
who'd love to get it.
But it all comes back around at some point, right?
It does. It does. And oftentimes, like you were talking about, you know, Ross, yeah, I'll take the win, but boy, I'd love to beat Matan in a lap outright here. And so this, God, let's hope they do it. And then everybody hustles on the cool down lap, and let's keep things moving. But I hope, fingers crossed here.
So the thing I'm worrying about also when you get into a race this late is fuel. And I don't mean running out of it, because drivers typically add enough for a couple extra laps, but I just mean from a weight perspective. If you're new to the series, new to the rules, and you're cutting it a little close, that extra lap of fuel, you know, you have to count for that. And some drivers will run 20 pounds overweight, some will run 150 pounds overweight, but this is not the situation you want to get yourself in, where you're running a little long, you've got a car that burns a lot of fuel, you're running a little light, because it could take a 5th place and drop you down to 30th.
That's true. That's true. And the one thing that you hope plays in your favor is when you're under a caution like this for 3-4 laps, you burn so much less fuel than you do on those 4 laps than you do 2 laps at speed. So you hope that kind of equalizes, right? But you can never be sure. So let's see. Car's cleared.
Oh, boy. I saw some tire warming there, Greg, and the pace car pulls off.
Here
we will
we
go racing again in Salinas. Justin Ross has to do it one more time. Can he hold off Matan Rosenberg in the closing moments?
Well, this is going to be fascinating, that's for sure. And remember, on that last corner has been Ross's kryptonite in these previous 2 races.
Green and white, 2.238 miles of racing left to go. Matan Rosenberg is hot on the heels of Justin Ross. Moore, Zhang, packed in, running elephant style down to turn 1.
And again, Wishmeyer, the San Diego Flash, that front end just is not allowing him to carry speed. He's quick. But watch for Matan here, because again, that Corvette's heavy. It'll get those tires up to temp a little quicker maybe than that BMW. And he's just got to pounce and pounce soon here. And then Moore is just hanging back. But look at who was that up into? That's Audi. That's pressuring Zhang right now as well.
The last 2 races, it has come down to these 2 in the last corner. Rosenberg, a great run up to turn 5. He is going to be all over Justin Ross into turn 6 as they head up the hill. Greg, they got one more lap, 3 wide into 5.
Whew, that looks like they got away with it, but here we go. Up into 6, so tricky.
Rosenberg's out to the absolute edge of the racetrack, Greg, up to the corkscrew.
Every bit of speed. You can see Ross defending, Matan looking to go to that outside. And Ross covers it beautifully, Kyle.
Down to the last few sectors here. Justin Ross searching for his first GRIDLIFE Touring Cup win. Denied once. Shame on you. Denied twice. Shame on me. Rosenberg is closing in.
Oh, I thought he was going to stuff it down the inside. Look at him back off. Looking to get the run through 10. Can he get the... Oh, and Ross launches.
Off into the grass. Final corner. Ross was denied once, was denied twice, and in the run to the checkers, the 3rd time is the charm for Ross. Checkered flag, his first win in his first weekend of racing. It'll be a win for Ross. It's a drag race for 4th place, 5th place. Here they come across the stripe, and with a splitter vibrating, Wishmeyer snags it.
Well, it was Audi in the 162 coming out of 11. Looked like he maybe missed a gear, and Wishmeyer was able to just cut left suddenly and come through, and the San Diego Flash earns a top 5.
Well, unbelievable. he definitely hung on to that for as long as he could. And what a drive by Ross there to hold back Rosenberg. And fair play. This time it was Rosenberg in the dirt. If you had any doubt that these drivers are trying, I mean, look at the last 3 race finishes. That's Kevin Bandy, unfortunately, stuck trackside. That's down at the Andretti hairpin, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. And that time, Ross, who on the last corner of the last lap in the previous 2 races, admittedly trying from 2nd, ran wide up there big time. This time, he nailed it, and there was nothing Matan could do because Matan had already lost some of that key mojo dropping those lefts at the exit of 10.
Justin Ross gets his first win. Rosenberg 2nd, Larry Moore 3rd. Peter Zhang top 5, so 2 does Jack Wishmeyer, Audi, Dominici, Aronowskis, John Borchelt, and Christopher Rosales snag top 10s. George Kustambartis, a nice drive up to 11th place. John Vo in the 75 grabs a 13th. Adam Wood dropped down the order there at the end of the race. 17th spot for him. I saw him kind of ending up down the ticker a little in the closing moments of that one. We also saw the 97 of Adam Bao go for a wild slide. He rebounds for 22nd as Kevin Bandy, Marchev, and Daniel Rose will not finish this race, unfortunately. There was a few others that were out also with some attrition in this 15-minute race. And see if Marchev can get repaired, but it seems like there's a lot to do. And Oscar Jackson, again, the overheating issues continue on the 469. That is GLTC Race 3. One more of those to do, but here's a look at the highlights of GLTC Race 3. On the start, it was Rosenberg that took the lead, but down into turn 2, here comes that 47.
You see that touch there, too, between Wishmeyer and Zhang that damaged Wishmeyer's right front splitter. And then there's that move. Ross just nailing it to perfection. And watch here, as I always show it here, but watch this battle again. These two had already touched a couple of times. They are racing furiously here.
Yeah, and that splitter got looser and looser on Wishmeyer's car throughout the race, battling Peter Zhang. And then that little scrap there right in front of Steniford with Aronowskis and Dominici and Borchelt. That was a good little scrap. And then the 173 runs off the course. Borchelt takes the spot back. These two went back and forth a number of times.
Yeah, it was a great battle back outside of that top 3 group here. And look at that. There's a huge...
Oh, man.
How about that avoidance?
That was the 424 that dodged and weaved. Great awareness there.
Yeah.
And then watch the background. Oh, March, something broke on the 17.
Sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just went straight. So He didn't spin out. It just, I think the left front let go before he got the wall. I think
so
happened.
too, and that just hooked him into it. So here's that restart, Kyle.
Yeah, the 47 got a nice launch there, but they were just packed in like sardines. Watch this in the background. 3 wide there with the 173 in the middle. Rosenberg cracked the door open here, but he wasn't able to get fully alongside. Then this, Kustum Bardis up the inside of a 3 wide.
There was a squeeze play, and everybody survived it. But there, that was the deciding moment there as Matan just dropped those lefts. That just nulls that momentum a little bit, and Ross hung on for a well-earned win. Boy, those two have put on a show in all 3 races now, essentially.
Excellent battles there. We're going to step away for a brief moment. We've got GRIDLIFE Drift coming up. It'll be our last drift coverage of the weekend, so make sure you stay tuned in. We'll be right back.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
Blake, we need a commercial for GRIDLIFE. Team Eibach drivers, go.
What about Ferris?
Oh, you mean Mr. I'm the fastest Corvette time attack driver in the world? He's too busy in the spotlight right now.
What about Jackie? He's pretty good on camera.
No, he's finally got an actual BMW now, so we don't have any footage.
Essa?
Nah, he's retired now, and he's super YouTube famous.
Guteel?
That guy lives under his car doing tutorials, not interviews.
I don't know, dude, fine. Just run, like, B-roll of coilover springs or something.
The Falcon Azenis FK510 tire is engineered for today's high-performance vehicles. Built with added tread rigidity for precise handling and an advanced rubber compound that inspires confidence, rain or shine. Get more out of your sports coupe or sedan with the Azenis FK510.
Well, the action has been fierce all day long here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Welcome back to GRIDLIFE Laguna. It's time to go drifting here at this famous historic racetrack built in 1957. Something new we brought last year, full course drift. Kyle Heyer alongside Gray Sitton. Gray, welcome back. You've had a busy day running around with the camera, but now you get to sit and watch some drifting.
I am so stoked, and what a pleasure it is that brings drift to such a legendary and historic track like Laguna Seca and see these top-notch Pro-Am cars as well as awesome NorCal locals shred this track and put on some great lines for us.
So yesterday we were doing a lot of learning. Today it is all go fast. Larry Chen chasing Bakchis now through the downhill run through Rainy Curve, and it's game on now.
Oh yeah, today you're going to see a lot more lines. Yesterday a lot of the drivers were just warming up and trying to figure out the best lines for their cars and their setup and making those tweaks they need to make. A lot of drivers I've been talking to want to recreate that epic Matt Kaufman clip on turn 1 and 2, but I don't know. You might see it again.
They got to one-up each other, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
But yeah. It's a friendly competition, a very, very friendly competition. GRIDLIFE produces the best vibes in drifting and some of the best moments, for sure.
Yeah, paddock is filling up now with the festival upcoming here. Music starts relatively soon. It runs until pretty late this evening. But right now, everybody that's here is flocking to the fence.
Oh, yeah. You can see it's absolutely stacked by that turn 1 and turn 2, as well as turn 3 and 4. A lot of guys stacked up by there and putting on a show for our awesome spectators.
Hey, here's a guy that has given us a unique perspective with that GoPro on the stalk on the back, Matt Field.
I don't know how to feel about it.
What do you mean?
I was talking to my buddy earlier, and I get documenting drift runs and all that, but you gotta just go out without it just once. Get some flicks, go out without the big tangly 360 camera, get your pictures, and get back out there. I understand it's content, but oh wow.
I don't know. I mean, this looks like a NASCAR to me.
Yeah, if
like
you
80s NASCAR.
Yeah, imagine telling somebody from the 80s that a G-body would be drifting the corkscrew. See him blasting down that huge turn after the corkscrew.
Oh, but there's a lot of momentum there in the background.
Yeah. You can see just how the movement of that thing. There's a famous quote called the G-body shuffle from drag racing. They like to shuffle a little bit and get loose, so super interesting seeing that car out there.
Now up the hill towards turn 6. That's a tricky corner to drift. It's not really in sight of a whole lot of the spectators either. You might take it easy through there, but once you get into the corkscrew area, it's like you're in a fish tank all of a sudden. Everybody's looking at you. It's time to float.
Oh yeah, it gets real scary. A lot of drivers are mainly focusing on turns 1 through 5 and the corkscrew in the turn after that one. Everything in between is not really driftable. And you got Palmer. Looks like he's cooking pretty good up there. Oh, slowing it down a little bit, taking it easy.
A little handbrake here action, you think? Right there?
Might be conserving tires.
Yeah.
He might have run up and said, ooh, this is a little bit too sketchy for me.
Oh, big send into rainy curve.
Yeah. You have to be fully committed down rainy curve or you will get washed out to the dirt so fast.
This is the... Is this the Forsberg's car or is this somebody else?
No, this is, I believe it's an old pro car that they used to run back in FD. Was that an R34 sedan that just went down the course?
Well, the great thing about cameras is we'll hopefully see it again. But
oh, yeah. Oh, you see Odie getting pretty close to that iconic entry. Making light work of those 3 turns right there. I think this is one of the best spots on the track to link everything for sure.
Looks like he's going to conserve as well. Maybe save it for the corkscrew because that's where all the good photos come from.
Oh, yeah. You see Pete flying off. See, Pete wasn't fully committed. He flew off there.
Throttling up.
The stable S14.5.
Man, there's a couple guys that have really enjoyed managing the front straight.
Oh, yeah. And I believe this is Randy Trung in the R34 joining us for GRIDLIFE. Not someone you usually see, but we're super stoked to have him out here in a beautiful, beautiful R34 sedan. Oh, getting pretty wild on that entry. Let's see if you can keep it together.
Oh, looking good. Got to get that angle because this corner peels away from you so much.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't have enough power, you'll get washed out so quick. But he's looked like he's making pretty good work of it. Just dipping off there.
What's he working with power-wise, you know?
I don't know much about that car. It looks to be just like a stock RB with some bolt-ons. The way it's moving.
I know this car started the weekend with a roof.
Oh yeah, he pulled a Nick Novak coming down. I believe it was rainy curve. Maybe?
Yeah, you know how convertibles say no more than 10 miles an hour. How about no more than 100?
Eject your roof, cuz.
Then there's the big red button on the center console. You do not touch after that.
Let's see what Palmer can do this time. That 1JZ E36 screaming.
Send it.
Solid. Can he keep the backy? I think that's one of the most complete runs we've seen out of him this weekend. Beautiful.
Outer zone painted
feeling
like
it, dude. He's touching that dirt just barely. Really feeling all the pavement that he can. Beautiful run by Palmer.
That was nicely done.
Yeah. It's so awesome seeing the low-powered cars just keep it together and really commit through these turns. As well as Nate Hamilton, who just came on a Rush SR and straight into a drift car.
Yeah, P6 in the race.
Yeah.
And right into his drift car and going to get some shots from Larry Chen chasing in the Supra.
Yeah, talk about seat time.
He's got plenty of it this weekend in completely different cars.
Yeah, there's been a weird migration from the drifters over to Rush SR. They're going to take all of them. See Justin Pollock filling out that first turn.
Oh, this is pretty.
Oh, what a sight. Beautiful 350Z chase car right behind them.
Can he carry it? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Carry it through 3.
Saw a clip of this thing before this weekend, and he tested out in his residential neighborhood doing 4th gear clips.
Oh, Nate, a little too much. There's a little pavement out there. Sauce the nugs, dude. He's got it.
What a beautiful run by Nate Hamilton.
I thought he was going.
Oh, yeah. That's his driving style, though. Always pushing it until you think he's about to go off and then just saves it last minute.
Yeah, I think it saved him. They added a little extra runoff around here the last couple of years.
Yeah,
extra 3 feet. He calculated that. He knew.
Yeah, going full tilt into the straight, just hammering it down on that throttle. Larry Chen right behind him, trying to get that awesome shot for us. Let's see what he can do.
Under the start gantry here. I haven't seen the Kaufman send yet. That's not so bad.
Yeah,
let's see.
Nate taking a very, very conservative entry, hitting that inside clip. Taking it smooth, because if you use all of your tire on that front entry, you're not going to have any more tire for the rest of the track. So smart move by Nate Hamilton there.
And they'll back it down, knock it off here.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting a little traffic jam out here.
Whoa, Chris Forsberg running up to that G-body.
It's busy traffic over there. California 101.
Palmer back at it again. Let's see. Looks faster than before. Oh!
Get it done, baby. Get it done.
Oh!
Come on, throttle up, baby. Save it.
Let her eat, dude. Let her eat.
Wow. That was good.
Yeah. Animal Style always puts on a show. Super
Only way I like
stoked
my
to have
fries.
Oh, yeah. Animal Style, man.
It's pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
The fries are trash otherwise. I mean,
Amen. In and out, questionable, but we're both East Coast boys, so we don't want to open up that can of worms right now.
You got to animal style the fries, or it is not worth.
Randy Trunk coming down that corkscrew beautifully in that R34. God.
I'm going to get lit up, by the way. Anyway.
Ew. Letting it eat on turn 1. Oh, my God. Might be the closest we've seen to, just a little bit too much sauce.
Just a little dirt drop.
He had the speed, though. A lot of drivers are having a hard time getting up to speed on that. Looks like his, nope, he's crab walking.
Uh-oh.
You see that?
That is,
that rear driver side's not looking too hot.
Full-time rumble strips, dude.
Oh, yeah.
All right, how about this?
Oh, God, this thing is just wild. FC Montrose, Porsche Cayenne. I don't know too much about this car. Not a big Euro guy, but it's super cool to see such interesting builds, especially produced by a company like FCP Euro.
Do you need to know a lot about it? It's sick.
That's all you need to know. It's rad.
I mean, what a cool build.
Oh, yeah.
Pete Collins getting after it down the corkscrew.
And that ASM E46. Let's see if he gets washed out this time.
He's a little early on the apex there, a little early on the clipping, but he kept it tight.
Playing it safe, playing it conservative, and getting it done for sure.
Beautifully done. Odie's got some speed coming, baby.
Aggressive stance in that car. Let's see it here. Odie coming up for turn 1.
Yeah, baby.
Pressing over that hill. Can he do it? It looks like he can. Oh, just barely.
Come on, baby.
And he is able to just fill that outside zone beautifully. What a beautiful initiation by Odie Bachis and that awesome fuel suspension. I think it's an S13.4? Yeah, S13.4 Suzuki front end. We also have this dude, Jason Farron from Down Under, and his barrel swapped.
Odie's going to have to go to eharmony.com because he's got some commitment, man.
Oh, I like that one. That was a good one. We need to see an eHarmony title sponsor car back down
yeah.
for sure.
Does that even exist still?
Maybe.
Oh, man. The Tinder of 2005. You know? Different times.
Bring me back.
Bring me back. I was 7. All right.
5.
Tell me about this this car, because we saw this at Road America, and it was sick.
Yeah, Jason has a super unique build. He imported this car from Australia. Barra swapped R31 wagon, Skyline. You can just see the style oozing out of it, and he, out of everyone, has been so stoked on this front entry right here. You can see how fast he was coming through there, filling that outside zone beautifully. Really great guy, awesome content creator. You can see his personality through his car in this one, and that's awesome.
It's just such a unique car. In expression through modification.
Yeah.
If no one's patented that, I'm taking that one too.
Yeah. Take it to the bank, man.
Not a lot in it. That's all right. Down the hill through rainy curve. Odie and who we got here?
Illingworth. Illingworth and 350Z, yes. Local NorCal driver, and a correctly done 350Z. You see a lot of 350Zs in Pro and Pro-Am and even grassroots, and not super great, but that's just perfectly styled 350Z. This Cayenne is crazy. Have you ever seen those clips from the Middle East of them drifting on the highway?
Yes, yes, I have.
That's the vibes that I'm getting from the Porsche Cayenne. He's just letting it eat everywhere. Odie,
come on,
one. Let's see it.
Heck
Handbrake drag of the century. That's got to be a world record there for longest handbrake drag. Can he complete it? A little bit of shallow angle, but he gets it done.
I got to say, I think Kaufman's last year still has one up these guys.
It still takes the cake. He just has no regard for his own safety sometimes, and I think that helps him a lot. He's missing that part of his brain.
I mean, Odie's giving it his all there, but
Jason Farron filling out that rainy, beautifully followed by Chris Forsberg. A lot of these cars you don't see together too often, but it sure is a treat.
I'm a big fan of the new Z. Yeah, I think it just looks the part. Oh, someone's off at Rainey. Big time off.
Oh yeah, that's a given. That's a given.
Looks like someone just dropped a tank out of a C17, and it's the FCP Cayenne. It just looked like one of those support drops when you drop a tank out of a C17 and it lands in the desert.
Warzone drop.
Yeah,
it's a Porsche Cayenne.
Oh,
Bomber saying,
Combs dead.
Not gonna hit you. Coming by. Don't mind me.
Plus 10 seconds.
Yeah,
or whatever it is for an autocross.
You never see a lot of wagons in drifting at all.
You see a lot of wagons in motorsports in general. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Right?
It has to be something with the chassis rigidity or whatever, but
they're just big and heavy and whatnot, but they're cool.
They're cool. That's all that matters, especially in drifting.
I've never even seen a car like that on a road before, and so to see it on the racetrack. I mean, the kayak car's probably a little before my time, but
yeah, from down under.
Well, that
Palmer. Oh, last little baggie to top it off. Not as good as his last run, but
if we could get Palmer's angle and Odie's send, we could have Kaufman's from last year. Where is Kaufman? Did he break something yesterday?
Yeah, it seems like earlier yesterday his Ellis was having tuning issues, and so might still be troubleshooting that right now. But we got Dylan Hughes in that Permatex 236, about to come hit that corkscrew. See what he can do. We haven't seen a lot of his car this weekend, fortunately, with the delay.
Wow, look at the track filling in all the way around parking lots, the concourse areas.
Yeah, and you can see just after the drift session that rainy gutter, all the lines going off track after each section.
Well, it's about to get really interesting because we're got our NOS Energy Track Battle Podium Sprint upcoming, and we have now put some rubber down.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have a slippery track for sure. These guys are just dumping tread everywhere. They're gonna have you looking out on those outside zones and inside clips for that tire debris. Dylan Hughes just making light work out of this track in his Permatex E36.
Ran out of gear, though, banging off the limiter there. And that's how fast, I mean, that corner's fast in grip, right? But you throw it in there sideways, you're the whole way through.
Yeah, there's lots of corners like that here where you just run out of gear and you just have to bang it off the rev limiter and just hope you make it.
Well, things have gotten quiet.
Seems like everyone there ran out of tires so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're about complete here with the drift session. So great. Final thoughts. Drift at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. There's still a couple more drivers finishing up their runs. We've got a few more sessions late in the day for the fans here trackside, but that's why you got to come here to experience it, because we'll be done after race 4. But this has just been another spectacular year of watching drivers take on one of the most famous tracks in the country.
Yeah, it truly is. I can't emphasize enough how much a privilege it is to bring these kinds of cars here in this style of driving. It truly is a historic drift event, and it's just, I'm just having the greatest time ever.
Well, you're going to have a great time back down to the festival area because we are wrapping up with GRIDLIFE Drift. We've got more coverage coming your way. Next up is the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship, the Podium Sprint. We're going to issue trophies after this one. We're going to decide who wins each of our 7 competition classes, and then it's just more racing, more of the time. Rush SR Race 4 and GLTC Race 4 coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, and I want to tell you about Valvoline's Flex-Fill Gear Oil, which is designed by car people for car people. It comes in a pouch, which is specifically made to work in tight spaces, and it saves me time versus the old pumping method, so I can focus on things like keeping my drivetrain running clean. Unlike the pump, the Flex-Fill pouch leaves no wasted oil and no wasted time. Plus, it keeps my garage nice and clean from any spills. All you gotta do is put the nozzle where you need some oil, give it a squeeze, and you're ready for the road. That's why I protect everything in my garage with Valvoline. Valvoline, trusted for over 150 years.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
High performance, year-round traction, long tread life. It's one tire with multiple personalities. Introducing the Azenas FK460, Falcon's all-new ultra-high performance all-season tire. With an advanced rubber compound that delivers confidence through every curve, in any condition, all year long, making the seemingly impossible possible. Learn more about the Azenas FK460 at falcontire.com.
All right, guys, I am here with Sasha Anise. We are standing in front of Kells, the Mountain Pass Performance. I know the name. I've done my research. We have the Mountain Pass Performance 350Z behind us. You are also, in this car, the GRIDLIFE Unlimited record holder, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of prep and planning that goes into leading up to one of these events, but how is the car now that you're here?
Yeah, you know what? I was surprised, actually. The track maybe just a little bit less grip this year than last year, it feels like. Car's really good, but it just doesn't feel like we quite have the stick that we did last year. So we chased that a little bit, but this track is like stunning. And to run it with GRIDLIFE and all of our friends and stuff is super special. So just to be here with the Z is awesome.
Now you say that, but I just caught up with Ben Schloss, and he's in that wicked GT, super fast, and he was surprised that you were on his door. He was giving you 0.5s. So, I mean, talk to me about the power that we're working with. It's a 350Z. It's surprising to see you get that much performance and power in a vehicle like this.
Yeah, the engine doesn't have a lot of power. I mean, it's got a lot, but not for a time attack car. So a typical unlimited time attack car, you would be looking for 1,000, 1,200 horsepower. We have a 500 horsepower engine and a 200 horsepower hybrid electric system. So the GT is actually pulling away quite hard in a straight line compared to us. But it was awesome to be close to that car and to see the performance of like a, no limits factory built race car. And we felt really good that we could be close to that car for sure. So it was cool.
Do you have any goals with the build?
It's always a moving target. So just trying to take weight out, add power. I mean, we wanted to do a 21 this year at Laguna here. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. But yeah, it's just so fun to drive anyways. So that's kind of the reward is just driving the car.
Yeah, especially at a track like this. What is one thing that you want people to know about Mountain Pass performance?
Mostly that electric cars are actually super fun to drive. If you haven't been in one, try a Tesla with Mountain Pass parts on it. They're great sports sedans, kind of like a BMW M3, super fun. So check it out, and yeah, don't hate on them until you've tried it.
I think that's valid. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how Kels works here. So it's actually a 4.2 liter VQ engine. It's got 15-to-1 compression, about 500 horsepower from the engine. And right behind the engine is a hybrid electric motor that adds about 100 to 150 horsepower, depending on how we're running it. Now, the tricky thing with our hybrid system is it's really peaky, so it's able to do 1 or 2 laps around Laguna here. So we really need to get the tires working, the brakes working, and the hybrid system all lined up at the same time. Then all that power goes through a sequential gearbox, which is paddle shifted by me. We have ABS and a whole bunch of other electronics, tire temperature sensors, and even 4-wheel steering on this car. So we're basically doing everything we can to kind of make up for that power loss compared to some other higher-end time attack cars or higher power time attack cars. And the Z also has a good bit of downforce too, so it does really well at these kind of slower, like tracks that don't have super long straightaways, but that are high-speed corners like Laguna and Lime Rock. So that's kind of why we take the car to these types of tracks. That's Kels.
OG, top dog. No, woo, woo, woo. Okay, here we are. We are at the very top of turn 8 of the corkscrew, and this is where we're going to have a DJ set up on Saturday, which is probably when you're watching this. So make your way up to the corkscrew. I think it's between 12 or 12:30 and 4 p.m. Please fix that with text on screen if I'm wrong. Come up here, have a good time. We got the NOS booth over here. What flavors we got, babe? We got the classics. We got grape, we got green apple, OG, and zero. Okay, cool. And why should people drink NOS?
It's really good.
It's delicious.
It's delicious. Have you guys tried the original NOS? Because it's so good. It's mango, passion fruit. Like, who doesn't like mango and passion fruit?
Yeah, hook it up. Hook it up. Let's get a cold one cracked. Actually, yeah. Let's get a cool one cracked. Enough sugar to kill a horse, but it's fine because now.
Hey, we have a zero sugar version too.
Oh, let me try that one. Let me try that one. That one's really more my pace. I'm not big on the sugar, but I am big on caffeine.
Caffeine. It's like it has more caffeine than the original.
Shouldn't have told me that. Oh, let's go. I was going to open it with my teeth like a real savage, but I shouldn't do that. My mom watches the broadcast. Oh, my God. Okay, real talk. No, I need to be real with you guys for a second. How can you have something that's sugar-free and be super sweet? But this is delicious, guys. Zero sugar, can vouch. Very good. Apparently it's got a lot of sugar. Scratch that. Zero sugar. But real talk, guys. This one is very good. Zero sugar, more caffeine. Come check it out here at the NOS booth, one of the many that we have at GRIDLIFE, where there's also going to be a DJ. Did I mention the DJ? Because we're going to be at DJ. Best view in the house.
And back at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, it is a beautiful, cloudless Saturday afternoon. And after a dreary start to the day with low-hanging marine fog, it has cleared up into an absolutely gorgeous day at GRIDLIFE Laguna. Welcome back to the season finale of the GRIDLIFE Festival Tour. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Greg Creamer. And Greg, this is just an unbelievable event. Our second time here to Salinas, California at this 11-turn, 2.2-mile circuit.
Yeah, this place is special. There's no question about it. I mean, one, the location, right? The Monterey Peninsula and Monterey and Carmel, just a stone's throw away. And then up in the hills here, this amazing track, literally carved out of the hills of what used to be an old ammunitions depot.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a great place, and this broadcast is brought to you by Falcon, the official tire of GRIDLIFE, TrackBattle, and NOS Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of GRIDLIFE, the title partner of the NOS Energy TrackBattle Time Attack. The Podium Sprint is about to get underway, and the cars are making their way down towards the front straightaway to begin their laps. Falcon's Sunday Cup is up first, and our top 5 qualifiers from the 3 qualifying sessions we've done now get to go for a couple of laps here, Greg, and at the end of this group, the top 3 are going to walk away with trophies. Now, the next groups are going to, as long as we don't have to condense it because of time, we'll run 1 car at a time in a lap stagger, and they'll get 2 laps each with the racetrack to themselves to show us how fast they can go.
Exactly, and for the Sunday Cup, just put them all out there and stagger them nicely, and let them see what they can do. And you've got to be thinking here, obviously, you take a look. That Sam Dooling put together that really, really good lap, and so he's got to come into this as the provisional favorite. But remember, the conditions now really different from what they were when those fast times were set in the very nippy cool of this morning.
Yeah, the other thing to consider is that we run this class as a group, and they're seated fastest to slowest, while the other groups will be seated the other way around. So Sam Dooling is the quickest driver in the seating, so he should be the one, in theory, to go win this event. But Taylor Wargo, we saw how fast he was earlier today, how hard he was willing to push, and in a moment like this, I think the bravery might pay off here in a 2-lap run.
I think so. I think, if you have the 2 things you need, as you said, bravery, the other one's car control, and that feeling for it, you're going to go for it and give it a real run here. Of course, part of the issue is I think a couple of these guys we've talked about have to drive these home, so that sometimes can put a little bit of a little something underneath the throttle pedal sometimes.
Sam Dooling is one of those drivers. He drove this car all the way from Michigan, replaced the seats with factory ones, put different tires on, drove across the country with a buddy to be here and help out with the event as well. Across the stripe for Sam Dooling, lap 1 is a 1:52.982. That's not a bad lap.
Not at all. Not at all. And see what else he's going to be able to put down here. But then, of course, going to be watching for who comes up behind here, but he is pushing and really getting after it early here.
I think it was Wargo, but we heard that slipping and sliding in the background. He might have found himself off course, so Dooling is the only one on the board right now while we wait for the rest of the qualifiers to come back around. That would be Team Race FF Pod, and then Lucas Schar and Jack Coughlin. Schar puts a 1:58 on the board. He will want more than that. He had a qualifying time much quicker, so I think lap 2 will be where he finds some push, and then Coughlin jumps up to second in the 9:69, a 1:56 flat.
Just watch this run here now through this incredibly important, especially for these cars with very little power and, by design, a fairly, I use the term loosely here, bad power to weight ratio. But that's by design because they are meant to be momentum cars that are really economical to go out and yet have an absolute blast in. And, man, he just looked really good up that hill.
He did. And Sam Dooling, again, he got so excited. Got his first couple of podiums this season running in this Honda Fit. He's put so much effort into his driving and to helping GRIDLIFE move along as a volunteer. Down the hill through the corkscrew, looking very tidy indeed. And already this weekend we had broken the Sunday Cup track record, and I think he's off of it by a little bit right now with his first lap, but I imagine lap 2 will be quicker. Sideways, the hands are rolling around in the cockpit. Sam Dooling is getting after it, Greg.
Yeah, 52.9 is his best lap here. The fastest lap was a 51.9 in the perfect conditions this morning. So Dooling is really, I think, doing a superb job here. Let's see if he can improve this just a little bit more. That looked like a really good lap.
Cross the stripe for Dooling, and it is a 1:52.449. Still not quite in the record-breaking territory. We need to be in the 51s to do that, but the records might have already been set earlier this morning.
I think so.
It's all about being on top of the stacker, and he is right now.
Yep, that's the thing. And when he improved there, he's now within a half a second of that fast lap from this morning that was set by Taylor Wargo. But like you said, it doesn't matter at this moment where you are in terms of the overall fast laps. Where you want to be is on top of the board here. And Schar is starting to show some speed. He's the other driver who's got to drive home, as I recall.
The 808, yeah. So he's also got a long drive ahead of him. Coughlin pips him again by 0.09 of a second. So this is going to be a scrap, I think, just to land second place on the podium.
I think so too. Again, watching dueling up through that hillside, but it's this battle for the rest of the podium here. I think it's going to be really intriguing, and looking to see when the other guys are going to be starting to put some runs together here. But boy, this is so close. Look at that. It's literally am I reading that right? That's 7 1,000ths of a second.
Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 908 to a 991, so it's 900s, but it's still very tight. Dueling down the hill. You hear the open diff working hard.
A little tire chirp there as here's that tricky turn 9. Nailed that. Looks really good there.
This is just the stuff of dreams. Laguna Seca, all to yourself.
Yeah. And still, I mean, not just testing, not just pounding around doing development. This is competition, but this is your moment. Single car qualifying, essentially. This is the equivalent of that for the podium. This is really awesome. Does he drop it again?
Yes.
He does!
Wow!
Huge improvement!
151.433, and I'm fairly certain that is the fastest lap time we've seen here this weekend in Sunday Cup. And if it is by a 10th, and it is a new track record for WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in Sunday Cup, and Sam Dooling has it. Now, can Coughlin or Shar steal it back? That's a long way to go, though, to do that.
Oh, it's over 4 seconds that they're going to have to find here. What a lap by Dooling. And in these conditions, now it has cooled off a little bit as the flag comes out. It has cooled off just a little bit here. So that's not hurting, certainly. But wow, that was impressive.
Shar was not able to pick up on his final lap, and I don't know that Coughlin will either. But Sam Dooling drove all the way across the country, over 2,500 miles in road trim, converted it back into his Sunday Cup race car. By the way, the car has a roll cage and is on like a race suspension, basically, coilovers.
So that's a fun ride across the country.
Maybe.
Nice
he said it wasn't so bad.
Okay, good.
But, I mean, what an unbelievable drive. Ooh, little wiggle there for the 808. I think he's just cooling it down.
He's having fun now.
Yep.
But here's the problem that Dooling has. The only foreseeable problem I have is when you drive your car out and it's a small car, you got everything you can crammed into that car. Now he's going to have to wedge a trophy in.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space left, I don't think.
Exactly.
And this is a big trophy too.
And if that's and if that's a problem for you, that's a good day.
Yes. There's Lucas Shar cooling it down now. He's past the checkers, but you got to give him credit, man, all the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Drove 3.5 hours away last night to go pick up another set of tires because he was wearing out the ones that he had. And put all the effort in.
And you know what I love about that is it shows that even in Sunday Cup, B-Spec, whatever level of competition, there's no difference in the commitment from that to the guys running the 2,000 horsepower cars and you know what I mean? Commitment's commitment regardless of level, and this guy's shown it.
Yeah, Lucas Shar still even on the cool down lap, got his hand out the window, fist out the window. He will now come to pit lane. That will move us along now to Falcon Club TR. This is now going to be Nick Allen, who's going to be our first driver out in the 435. That is a Toyota 86, unless we're doing reverse seating here. Typically, we've done this one car at a time, but with the time compression today, I'm curious to see if we'll see these cars.
That's a good point.
As a group. But it does seem quiet, so I imagine it's just one at a time here.
And just a target time, the best time turned in the cool of the morning, a 1:39 flat by Nick Allen.
Yep, well, here he goes in this bright yellow Toyota 86. I guess it's kind of a green, isn't it?
I was just going to say, boy, time for that eye check.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, you know, it's the highlighter yellow that some people call green, and some people, this is a little more green than yellow.
Okay.
Give me some credit.
Okay.
Across the stripe, here comes Nick Allen in the 435. And he got some aero on this car. Again, Falcon Club TR is a category that is for 2.5 liters and under, naturally aspirated, or 1.8 liter turbo and under. Spec Falcon RT 660 tires. They're working very hard.
Yes.
You get some aero here, and you can do engine swaps in this category. It doesn't even have to be from the same manufacturer of the car, but you cannot open the engine, so you can't do anything, any kind of internal modification.
And man, hey, you see that rotation he had coming through Andretti. He is pushing hard here. And you only get 2 laps at this stage, so you've got to put in a really good first lap, and then hopefully you can even improve on it in the second lap. But you can't afford to just tootle around on either of these laps here.
Got to watch the track limits as well. Got to stay at least a tire on the candy stripes here. They'll give you turn 11. Oh, that's going to be a big push there. And he is using all the racetrack on the run through 6.
He just straddled those candy stripes all the way up, didn't he? Which, hey, you know, opens that radius up and you're getting ready to turn into that diabolical turn 6. Here he goes, corkscrew. Here's that quick rotation, that compression. Nice. That was really clean, Kyle.
Yeah, and these Toyota GR86s, what a platform they have been. Launched in 2013 as the Toyota GT86 globally, along with the Subaru BRZ. They have a cult following now. I'm subscribed to it even. And they've also got a second, yes, they've got a second generation as well, which this car is. And it was just, you know, more stiff, you know, a little bit more weight, but stiffer, 30 more horsepower, and all the other, you know, creature comforts that Toyota learned along the way. We'll see what Nick Allen can do on the first lap around. It will be a 1:41.933 for Nick Allen.
And that was a 39 flat was his best lap this morning. So he's about 2.9 off. Just Tassin, though, jumps to the front at a 1:41.378. So really nice lap.
And remember, and Hackman to the top, 1:41.014. And that's the S2000, the F22C S2000. And Granberg to the top, a 1:40.224. Hello, he's shown up to play.
And that's in the BRZ, so they are getting serious here. And now it all comes down to Allen's got that second lap to go. And Liu not that far out of it here at a 42.9. A little bit off the pace, but still impressively quick here. Usually this whole group of the Club TR, pretty close, at least in that top 10 usually are fairly compressed here. But boy, that 140.2 for Granberg, that's impressive. Kind of curious about.
Well, the track record was in the 39s. He already, I think, took that earlier today by quite a bit. So he's already got that point allocated to him. The question is, can he stay on top of the rest of the field in this podium sprint session? Down the hill here into the corkscrew. And this is, I believe this is Hackman in the 396.
Yeah, and should somebody, though, go quicker than that track record, they get it. I mean, you can still earn it here, too.
Oh, sorry, this is the 213 Tassine here. In
the
blue car. And right down to turn 10 apex, looking good.
Yeah, he was the first one to jump in front of Allen. So we're going to keep an eye out here watching the monitors here. And Allen jumps to second, his best, but couldn't get quicker than Granberg. So now what can Tassine do as he brings that beautiful blue machine across the line?
And let's see what he's got. It's good enough for third, a 140.687. Here comes the 812. This is Lou. And he's got some work to do if he wants to find some time. Hackman to the top, 140.155. Granberg's got to go.
Wow, what a lap by Hackman. And just referencing, checking what he did, he was in the 39s earlier today, so not a surprise to see him being this quick. But I think the surprise right now, Allen, this far back.
Yeah, and well, we'll see if he can claw his way back forward again. Lou across the stripe. It is a pickup and an improvement. But look how tight it is. 4/10 cover the top three and less than a half a second amongst the top four. That is incredible, Greg.
It really is remarkable. Really, really quick here. And it looks like this one, too, we've just put all 5 cars out. Split here, and I think just because we're behind.
Yeah, and we're trying to find time anywhere we can, and this is something that I talked to Adam about, and this is really a great way to do it because it also gives you this back and forth that we didn't get with the other format. So there's also a potential that it'll change for next year where you have all 5 cars on the road at once, and it's plenty of racetrack for everybody. So Lou off into 4. And he would love to. I mean, the podium sprint doesn't guarantee you a trophy. You've got to perform and at least do better than 2 other competitors.
Yeah, that's the key.
Oh, he was loose on turning. That wheel was turned to the right.
Oh, look at it, using every bit of the road on exit there. So he made that adjustment really well when you noticed that little bit of loose. And he just said, okay, I'm just going to straighten it, use all that exit, and try and keep my momentum up.
And checkered flag is out. Will anybody dethrone Hackman in the 396? Tassine to third, knocks Allen off the podium. Can Allen respond? Can Granberg respond?
And can Lou really pull something out here? What a story it would be if he can make that happen.
And Granberg to the top, 139.488. He wants to win. And does anybody have anything for the K-Power BRZ that just went to the top of the step?
And that lap by Granberg was 0.6 quicker than his previous best. He found it when he needed it.
Lou quicker.
Yeah.
And I think the checkered has fallen for almost everybody. And Peter Granberg last year was denied the win. Fez Bobber was able to steal it. This year, shipped this car all the way from the Chicago area. And he might go home with some hardware too.
It's sure looking good at this point. I'm not sure who's out there still on a hot lap.
Don't see anybody coming down the hill. And you know what? It's so far, we have had 2 of our regulars kind of dethrone the local guys here.
Yeah.
And, well, they have to kind of put up or shut up now. Street class time.
Exactly. Here we go.
And now this is going to be Willem Dries in the Hyundai Elantra N. And Willem is one of the drivers in the FCP Euro Pacific Championship. He ran with us at Willow Springs and defeated Luke Lederman in the 922 there. Lederman's in a Porsche Cayman. That gives you a great perspective of how high performance this Elantra N machine is. Yes. I had the pleasure of driving one all last year to use as our safety car from event to event. And Greg, you and I rode in it a couple of times at Watkins Glen.
And I'm, still.
You're still here. So
I'm here. I'm no longer comfortable in my soul, but I'm here. No, you did a great job. I'm teasing. Target time, just as a reference point, Dries won at 1:39 flat for the fastest time thus far.
Off into turn 6. The interesting thing I learned about these cars over on the SRO, they have the TC configuration of these machines, and the electronics stay effectively factory. They don't really do anything to the electronics. So when they go into the race, they actually just hit the N mode button on the dashboard, just like you would if you were driving the car and you wanted to dump the exhaust and make it loud and crackly. They do the same thing, and then after 2 laps, because the heat starts to rise, they have a custom mode that they've set up in the dashboard to help with the heat management. You hit that custom mode button and you run the rest of the race for 40 minutes. I mean, that's how much they trust this car in the length of time.
That's impressive.
So it really is impressive. And the road car is not that different from that car here. So we'll see what Dries has got as he'll pick up the green flag this time.
And he's not using anywhere near all the track yet. So let's see if he starts to use up a little bit more of the track. He's got the tires warmed. You would expect it not be right to the edge everywhere on your out lap, on your warm-up lap. But now, a little wobble under braking.
Yeah, a little nervous down there, but the ABS doing a lot of work. This car also has auto rev match, and speaking from experience, it works very well enough that you can use it on the racetrack. And he is at work.
He seems off pace here.
See what he can find. Turn 4 looks all right. These cars make about 270 horsepower, and once that turbo starts to spool, you're up in the power band. Onto the brakes here into 4. Got some wildlife watching in the bottom left there. There we go.
There's our buddy.
Yeah, he's been there all day, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Willem Dries into 6. This is a huge commitment corner.
Oh, hear that thing pushing through that corner. Used up a lot more of the exit there of 6, so he's really, you can tell he's starting to get after it here. Ooh, really early on the turn in there. That was a unique line. That was just sort of straight to the apex and then just crank it down the hill.
And right tight to the left curb there in Rainy Curve. And off into 10. And Dries has been, this is a fairly small street class here this weekend, but he hasn't faltered once. He has been at the top step effectively since Friday morning in the first practice. So I wouldn't anticipate anyone really going toe-to-toe with him, but you have to perform here. You don't get any mulligans, maybe one. But across the stripe, let's see what Dries can put up for a time, and it's going to be a 140.283.
So about a second and 2/10 off of his best. That's not bad. For his first real flyer here. And now that he's probably got those tires really in the sweet spot in terms of warmed up, pressures are right.
Lederman
really start to pedal it here.
Lederman at a 141.0. And so their battle from Willow Springs will continue again, but it's 0.8 seconds back from Dries to Lederman. So that's quite the gap that Lederman will have to find. You can find me a 10th or 2. I think finding 8 is a lot.
That's an ask. That's a big ask here.
Critter's looking on. There he is. He's up on past the wall. I think we're all right. Dries into 6 again. Oh, little slide. You heard the tires protesting there.
Yeah, you heard the big lift. And you got to be careful with that there. Now, the one thing you have is you have the hill. So if you lift, oftentimes that slope of the hill will catch the rear and not let the car pivot around like it might otherwise. So he used it pretty effectively there, but that could have cost him a fair chunk of time. That's the problem.
See, that right hand went down to the dashboard, it looked like, coming out of Rainy Curve. Might be trying to fiddle with the setting. This car has adaptive dampers and things, as Ramirez puts up a 2:14.957. So I think that was an outlap or something, because that was not a really representative time. What can Dries do? Will he improve and grow this gap back to Lederman in street class across the stripe? And it is a pickup, a 140.191.
Lederman's best earlier was a 140.9, so he needs to find a tenth or two to get past that. And then, as you said, that really big leap he needs to make.
Lederman, 140.959. That was not a bad lap.
Not bad at all.
So he did find some time. Maybe the first lap out he didn't have the tires up to temp.
Well, that's a car that's going to have really nice balance out there, isn't it?
So this is Lederman in that 922. And drops into turn 3 nicely, or uses all the rumble strip there. And you've talked at length about the curbing here, how it's pretty flat.
Yep.
And there is some ripple to it, but it's pretty mild as far as racetracks are concerned. And you can use that as a little extra road on the left and the right along the way.
And, well, that's the thing. You can use it as a little extra width on the track, but you can't really use it to catch you. You know, some curbs you can nick it when you're a little sideways and it'll almost straighten you out, and you can actually plan that. Here, that's not going to happen. If you're sideways, that curb is not going to do one thing to help you out. And so you just got to be prepared for that, change your approach a little bit.
You know what's interesting is Lederman looks like he's going really fast. I mean, compared, that Hyundai does it so effortlessly.
That's true.
And the Porsche, it really looks like it's on the limit here. So I wonder if he's really picked it up, or if it's just the shape and size of these cars are that different.
I think some of it's the sound, too, obviously, is, you know, these Porsches have a pretty nice engine note, and that Hyundai, as you said, it does it effortlessly and quietly. You know?
Yep. Turn 11, Dries, I don't think he hasn't picked up this time. A little bit of traffic there as there's a point by for Ramirez. Here comes the Porsche of Lederman across the stripe here. Is it going to be a pickup enough to go to the top? It will not be.
Wow.
That is deceiving. Well, Ramirez improved, but not enough to go anywhere. So Dries, Lederman, Ramirez, your top three here in the podium sprint. So that was a little closer than we thought.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And it's, you know, he was, and, you know, sometimes you'll see a driver just hustle like that, and sometimes you just overdrive it a little bit, and the car's exceeding what the tires want to do, and, you know, you're braking and you're over slowing into a turn and the like, and, you know, so you think, I just drove the wheels off that thing, and suddenly you're 2-3 tenths slower than you were. And the best solution is, you know, racing instructors will tell you this: slow down, go faster sometimes. And what they're basically saying is be smoother with your inputs. You know, brake maybe that little bit gentler so you don't overslow.
And green flag is out now for Street GT. So we're going to kick things back off. And by the way, if you were wondering where we had a couple more cars in street class, but Greg Formosa in the Evo had an issue in qualifying 3 earlier, so he was not able to make the podium sprint. You got to be in it to win it, despite him having a fast enough time potentially to have qualified for this. You have to be in this session. Here's your champion of the Street GT class. 2024 Street GT champ Andy Volkel pulling double duty this weekend in this and in the Rush SR series. So he's got another race to do basically right after this.
Yeah, he's going to get this done. And fortunately for him, there's a couple more classes that still have to run, so he'll have just enough time. But, yeah, what a story he's been this year. Just such a strong season. Clinches it with a few rounds left. I mean, that's impressive when you can do that.
I mean, the way that the championship works in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship is each weekend you can win up to 26 points.
Yep.
That is 25 to win plus 1 for a track record. So that makes, on a season, you take your best 4 results. And that makes a perfect score, 104 points. Well, he's got over 150 of those, by the way. So he's not only has he got a perfect score, he's got more than that. That is not even counting to his championship, because he's already maxed out the bucket that he's allowed to put points in. So it has been an impressive year.
And I like it. Andy proudly calls the color on his car and his helmet pink. I noticed earlier one of the drift drivers, the color was Diamond Spark.
Oh.
And it was pink.
I mean, Diamond Spark is, I mean, that's like the race car color name, right?
Oh, okay. So
well, no, I mean, I don't know that it's a real thing, but it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, here comes Andy Volkel across the stripe in the C8 Corvette. Now, the battle last year between him and Ido Waxman was pretty fun to watch. Ido's not here this time. He was last year. Ido went on to win the Street GG Championship last season. Ido is also the only driver to have defeated Volkel this season. That was back at Road America, where I think the kind of slicked back low drag configuration of that C6 is better.
Yeah.
But the factory aero on this car is so good. And then we've also seen Z06s in now track mod, and the Corvette just keeps stepping up and stepping up and stepping up. And you know, Andy has really taken this car to a high performance level.
He has, and it just works so well. And as you said, you know, this is a high downforce track, and so the aero that's just built into this by the factory is really going to play well. Heard that little chirp just for a second. It gives you an idea as he hit that compression that he is right on the edge. And his best lap was a 33.24.
That is cooking around here.
Oh, my goodness. It really is.
And he just absolutely destroyed his the previous track record set by Kyle Magnussen in the rear-wheel drive category, which was a 34.2. So he's miles past that.
Yeah.
He might break that again in this session.
He could. This has been a super clean lap. Late on the brakes in 11, but not so late you overslow. And now grab the throttle as soon as you can, Kyle.
Yeah, really smooth lap for Volkel. I think there's probably some more time to find, but sometimes smooth is fast. Let's see what he's got. It's a 134.821. I think he's got more than that.
Yep.
And I'm sure he'll go for some here as well.
Well, oftentimes now, like I said, we got a breeze that's picked up. Sun's a little lower in the sky now than it was, so track's a smidge cooler. So Volkel probably has his tires right in that sweet spot right now.
And now for something completely different. Craig Coker in the Tesla Model 3 flying down the front straightaway without a sound.
Yeah, just whisper quiet.
Dustin Williams in the background in that Valvoline M2 at a 137.472. That puts him on the podium for now until Mark Kilgore drops him down to the order. So Dustin Williams has got to find some speed here if he wants a trophy. And the Tesla, right out to the edge of the road, Coker.
Yeah, Kilgore running quicker than he ran in that earlier qualifying session this morning. And there's a little drop right there. Again, by Craig Coker. But that was a nice lap by Kilgore. Like I said, quicker than he went in the cool of this morning.
Yeah, he is hauling in that Tesla.
Nice job.
Not a lightweight car. Neither is the car behind him, that M2 that Williams is in. Both are not light on their feet. Big compression. Wow. And there's Dustin. Dustin's first appearance in a NOS Energy Track Battle Podium Sprint. New car to him, at least in this kind of championship. He's previously brought a Civic Type R and some other equipment to GRIDLIFE. But this time, he's making up time on Coker, who was second previously.
Yeah.
So this could be a good lap for Williams, and he could go away with a trophy.
I think it can be, without any question here. He's got opportunity here. And, yeah, Kilgore's just been impressive so far. Anytime you're running quicker than you run in a cool morning qualifying session, you've really got the car dialed up here. This should be fun to see the numbers as they come through. Oh, wide push in the back, though.
That might have given up some time for Williams. Yeah. He's going to get another lap, though, and he's got to just gather it back up. Coker, no improvement. Williams, he still may. Yes, he does, but it's not quite enough. He needs another second for a podium, and he's got probably at least one more lap to do it.
Let's see what Kilgore can do. I think he's still out there as well.
He is. And across the stripe for Kilgore, no pickup for him, and I don't think Robles is about to get to the stripe. And Robles does pick up to a 137.378. That battle for fourth is tight.
Wow, 14 1,000ths here as Coker is off throttle.
Yeah, I think Dustin has got to find a little bit more. That won't hurt him too badly. I think there's some time in this, but he's got to be smooth. That was kind of Coker to get out of the way there, knowing that his power in that Tesla. He's used up enough of it now that it will not likely give him more. Williams in the compression at turn 6, climbs up the hill towards the corkscrew. I know how much he'd love some hardware to take.
He's got to find a second, man. That's a big chunk of time.
Little wobble into the corkscrew.
Oh!
Too much. Checkered is out. This will be his last try.
Yeah, and I think that's probably going to be it. And I've been watching him into the corkscrew.
Oh.
He's one of the he is
fighting it now.
Yeah, he really is. But I was watching him up in the corkscrew, and he's one who, when he comes up, would swing right and then really, try and open that arc in. But sometimes you do that, and you've unsettled the car too much. And I think it's just now got him out of his rhythm.
I think the tires are also just screaming now. Hot from sliding around.
Yeah.
Dustin Williams across the stripe. It will not be a pickup. He will miss out on a podium by just over a second. But a great first appearance, and he was leaving it all out there. Mark Kilgore picks up some speed.
Oh, nice.
136.315, so makes that, well, it was just a couple hundredths of a second that he gained. And then Robles in the other M2. And I guess M2 versus M2, Williams can take that by 1800ths of a second. I'd be proud of that.
That's just incredibly close. You got to love that.
So that was a fun battle there for
it
P3.
was.
Andy Vogel, though, wins another one with another track record. So now that is 6 events in 2024 that Andy Vogel has maxed out points in, which I don't know that there has been a record set or tracked with that yet, but I think that he holds now the record for the most records in a single season. I have to double check that. I'm sure that maybe, Jackie Ding could have also done that a couple years ago.
So that would be the record.
The record.
Yeah.
Right. And there's probably a record for the number of records.
That's true.
So we'll have to start tracking that on our record sheet with the records of the records of the records.
Yeah.
And now it's street
you need to
time.
record that.
Yes. Record our record sheet with all the records on it.
Okay.
All right.
And we're done.
Getting late in the day, huh? Sun's cooking our brains up
Brains
here.
out, exactly. All right. This is going to get interesting now. Street mod.
Street modified. Now we step up into big-time bolt-on stuff here and big aero. And there are some restrictions about this category, meaning your car still must be able to be taken on what they call the ice cream test. If you can't take your spouse to the ice cream store in it, it's not a street mod car.
There you go.
So you can modify it to a very high degree, but if you're going to get pulled over and the car impounded for what's on it, then it's not legal. I mean, that's the gist.
A loose, yeah. So it's got to be street legal in some way, shape, or form. Target time here, just as a reference point, a 1:33.7 by the 884. That's Steven Schieffer in that GR Supra, doing the brand proud.
Yeah, I think the GR Supra, we've seen a number of those do really well in different classes here in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship. All the way from Street GT, Street Modified, Track Mod, and Unlimited. And this one is set up to crush.
Yeah, I love that sound. All right, get ready to start his first flyer. I presume that's Cal Fortner behind in that Porsche.
I would think so.
That he has swapped over to for the weekend.
Let's see what Steven Schieffer's got in the 884. Looks tidy down through turn one. Fortner's a little wide.
Yeah.
But you can run wide in the center of the Andretti hairpin if you can just tuck it back and hit that second apex. But too far, you'll get into the marbles, and it's hard to pull it back after that.
Well, the nice thing is with this format where they're getting, what is it? It looks like it's about 10 minutes they're giving him to be able to go out and just put some laps in. So you don't have to be, you're not really tied into those 2 only laps, right? If you have that little problem on your first flyer, instead of 1 more lap, you probably get at least 1 more, maybe even 2, depending upon how fast you're lapping here. But first time in anger, little lift. Hear that?
Yeah, a little lift. And there was
none there.
Yeah, there was something under the rear of that car that was sparkling, which I thought was interesting. But we'll see. Down the hill here into the corkscrew. Still tidy. I think that lift will cost him a bit. He wasn't able to fully commit back to the throttle. And if you can time that just right, the amount of speed you can carry up the hill is just unbelievable.
It really is. But that turn 6, like I said, it's a momentum killer, and you've just got it. It's kind of like turn 6 at Road America in that it's a lot easier to get it wrong than get it right.
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
easily.
Yeah, you get it right once in a while. You get it wrong quite a lot. First lap complete here for the street modified category. You'll see a Schaefer Scott, and he'll drop a 35.0. And Cal Fortner is going to go quicker than that, 34.5.
And that is Fortner's best lap previous to this session today is a 34.5. So he hit that on his first lap. So Fortner is dialed up. And, every lap he runs in this car, he's getting more and more familiar with it. It is vastly different in the handling and power department than his normal ride. And I think it was Cerise who was talking to him a bit earlier about how every lap he's starting to figure out the balance a little bit more, where he can push, and, how he's got to drive the car. I mean, he's closing right now noticeably on Schaefer.
Yeah, Chris Watson, the 237. He put a time down of 1:39.9, so he's going to chase Baxi now for the podium spot.
In this group, this street mod group, the top 5 was one of the closest combinations here.
Schaefer pulled over.
Yeah, he
and
sure did.
Let Fortner by. Now, what's interesting about that is it would seem to me that Schaefer might feel like he's run all he could run. Or maybe he can't do more than one lap at a time, but that's almost conceding victory to me.
In a way, yeah, unless he thought, all right, I can see Fortner's running quicker. I'm not right at the moment. Let him through and let me see if I can stay with him and, watch what he's doing. Sometimes you can use that, nice to have that carrot out front, and we'll see how it works. But Fortner really looks to have dialed it up here. Let's see what he puts together here.
Not quicker.
No, and it may have been, even though Schaefer did a nice job of letting him through, it may still have just held him up that smidge.
And I don't think we'll see what Baxi or Watson
Nice job
has.
by Baxi, jumping up into third now.
Yeah, that was, I think, his first lap through. I think we'll see if Watson can take it back from him.
Yeah, Baxi was the 5th seed here, the 37.7. And he's already gone a 37.6, so he's a little quicker than he went this morning too. But
and Baxi picks up 137.252.
Nice.
And he's still getting after really late on the brakes. You hear the downshifts early and often to try to get that thing woed down. And nice line through the Andretti hairpin as well.
Tidy.
Yeah,
snug, tidy.
And then into turn 4, looking good here.
Here's that really tricky turn 4. It's long. It goes on forever. It's sort of almost a double apex. You turn in, and then you get this little bend at the end. And it's so easy to turn in way too early for that corner. You forget that second thing bends back on you a bit.
He looks so comfortable behind the wheel of this car.
He really does.
And the front-wheel drive doesn't hurt, right? You just pound the throttle, and it'll straighten itself back out.
Yep. Just turn those wheels where you want to go and give her a little boot. There's that straight line to the apex and then fall down the mountain.
Oh, got really close to that anti-cut curb there on the right. That will hurt the underbelly of these things. And he is currently on podium, but I think I just want to get one more lap in here in defense.
Yeah.
Just in case Watson rips out a good one.
He's given an awful lot of respect to the track out points around here, though. He could use more track and I think flow more speed.
Yeah, definitely left some on the table in turn 10, but I don't know if it's going to matter a lot. It's going to need a lot to catch Schaefer and Fortner. He will not, and he will not pick up on his final lap. Now the only question is, will Watson be able to dethrone him there?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a 2-second plus gain.
It's a big effort by Watson.
And I don't know that he is even still on course.
No.
So that would give the win in Street Mod to another team. I mean, look at this. With the exception of Dries, who I think is California, Dueling, Granberg, Vogel, and Cal, they're all from the Midwest. And so they have come to stake their claim to the GRIDLIFE trophies. They don't want anyone else to have them.
Yeah, exactly. They're laying claim, as you said. And now it gets really fast and really loud. It's track mod time.
This is such a competitive class here this weekend. It's
huge.
15, 16 cars.
Yep, 15.
And such a wide variety of models and manufacturers. And this car, the 274, This is the winning car from last year.
And it's 29.67. 29.67 is fastest time turned in qualifying as our target.
Yeah, that's Gabe Zamora, by the way. And this flat 6 engine makes quite the noise. And if you're standing trackside, there's almost nothing more beautiful than a 911 screaming up towards the corkscrew.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just working on those tires, making sure they're clean. And he's got one of the cars from the previous session that's taking it pretty easy. Here we go.
Off into the corkscrew here. Yeah, and I think it's not going to be a huge deal. It's just a warm-up lap here, but you don't want to get off just trying to get the tires scrubbed in here.
Exactly.
And so that car will be pitting in. It won't be much in the way on the fast laps here. Drop a gear, disappear, Greg. Here we go.
Here it is. He served notice that it's time to go.
And behind him, he's going to have Gary Wong, Brad Perkins, Jackie Ding, and Kenton King, who's also in a 911. So 2 911s, an M3, an M2, and a GR Supra. Here comes the 274 Zamora. Wow, look at how hard did he charge turn 2?
Way too hard. Yeah.
And that will be a big deal because the cars chasing him were not that far off.
No. So, yeah, that's just, at least he gets that little bit of maybe an extra lap or whatever here. Now he knows, what his limit is going into turn 1. Or turn 2, I should say.
Yeah, he's already just warming up tire. He realizes this lap is a throwaway, so he's just going to kind of clean off the tires, kind of find his line again. And he's just got to worry about Gary Wong in the Supra.
It looks like Wong's doing the same thing. He's not on a flyer either right now. It's warming up tires again. And it's cooled off here a bit, so they may have just been finding, our tires are not ready for a flyer right now.
No, and I think also, this is after a drift session earlier in the day. The other cars cleaned off the line, but if you get offline while you're warming up, all of a sudden you're going to have all this clag on your tires. There's Perkins with a shower of sparks through turn 6.
Well, dropping the hammer, working his way up.
And down into the corkscrew. Brad Perkins out of Kansas. This thing is a thundering beast. And it's about to go to work. He looks like he's trying pretty hard here.
Yeah, he does.
So I don't think he might just jump right up to the top here just out of raw pace as the others kind of take it easy on this opening lap.
Well, he's closed it down on them noticeably here. All right, here we go.
Zamora, Wong, and does Perkins go to the top? Yes.
Yeah, by a chunk.
Yeah.
Wow, was he flying.
Now the question becomes, with Zamora on pace now, can he wrestle it back like he did in qualifying earlier?
Oh, did you see that trail of smoke? He was leaning on that left rear so hard under acceleration in the squat that he got a little bit of tire rub.
Yeah, it's still doing it, even down the back straightaway on the shifts even.
Oh, you're balancing on the throttle there? Wow.
He's on it now, Greg. There's no holding back.
Yep, and you noticed as soon as he cleared that little compression at the apex, matted it. He had his angle all figured out. Look at that little wider turn in to improve the line down to the corkscrew. Beautiful using that compression. Now remember, it tightens up. Waits, turns it in. Uses all the track. Now swing left, drop through the banking here in 10.
Didn't look like it gripped up in the front in 10.
Yep, he had to wait just a little bit to get to the throttle, didn't he?
Yeah, Jackie Ding went to the top, by the way, 31.6.
Boom for Dinger. That's a lap.
Well, we'll see if Zamora can pip it. Yes!
Yeah!
Wow. 137.10. Perkins now will be the next car across the stripe. See if he can stay on the podium here or improve. Yes, he does, to the top board.
That was a lap.
Wow.
A 30.4 to a 30.7, 31.6 for Ding.
Brad Perkins has shown up to party today.
Yeah, hasn't he just? Here comes Ding. That little slide, man, he loves a little rotation. What does he do?
Not quite.
Not enough.
They've been working on some handling issues with this car. It was understeering at Autobahn. It was oversteering on Friday. I don't know that this car is doing exactly what he wants. Kenton King is a little off of podium contention right now, but Brad Perkins, I don't know. He has no idea right now that he's on this top step, but you don't want to come all this way to lose out by a couple tenths of a second.
No, he's just going to keep pounding until he sees that checker. Zamora is really tight, and I'll tell you, King, that was a nice little improvement for King. It's not close enough to put him on the podium, but he'll be satisfied going from a 35 to a 33. That's a nice improvement late in the going here, and yeah, I think he'll take that.
Sparks again from, that was Wong in the 288, I think, of the Supra coming down the hill. There he is.
Yep.
And he quickly went from second seed down to fifth place, and the checkered is out. Who gets to the top of track mod in the final moments?
Zamora! Look at that!
641. Perkins needs to do better by 0.8 of a second across the stripe. He does! Brad Perkins! 129.280, and he sails to the top of the ticker. 1 to third, knocks Ding off the top, the third step there. What a lap by Brad Perkins.
Is that a record?
Yes, it is.
I thought so.
By 1.2 seconds.
Ba-boom. That was a lap. So here comes Ding.
Not enough. Close.
Just missed it.
Oh, my goodness.
3/10.
They'll be disappointed in that, PhD Racing, but you can't win them all, right?
No, you can't. You can't.
Kenton King, 133, 129, just didn't have it in the podium sprint. Look at this track mod class. 129, 129, 130, 130. But Brad Perkins, I mean, he came in, what is the second seed? Second or third seed?
Yeah.
Came in as the third seed, and with the upset, jumps both Zamora and Wong.
And pretty convincingly. That was a serious lap.
I honestly didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. I mean, picking up once, picking up twice, picking up thrice. That's impressive.
That is impressive. And I love the sound of that machine of his.
What a drive.
Yeah, just awesome.
So unlimited cars are being turned loose. Here is your podium sprint results as of so far. You're going to have a couple pages worth of results here, and we'll bring you just the unlimited ones. But this is where things get really spicy. Some of the fastest cars here ever in a production car form. Ben Sloss is the first one out on the racetrack, and that is a Mark IV Ford GT, 800 plus horsepower, $1.7 million, and he is the top seed coming into this session. And yeah, track record already. He'd like to double down.
You bet. He was shooting for, what do you say, the teens? Was what he was looking at here. Don't know that they'll get that, but still really impressive here. And keep in mind, I think you were the one who told me this. This is one of 67 built, and the number 67, of course, honoring 1967 and that remarkable multiple podium by Ford in their duel against Ferrari.
So he's on slicks, and so it makes me wonder if he's going to go for it lap one, or if he might do what we saw in track mod, take that first lap to really get things up to temperature. Again, he's a very experienced driver that has experience running in endurance racing and GT racing, so he knows how to do this.
Yep.
And qualifying is really important. So this is effectively a qualifying session. You get a couple laps to put down a time.
Yeah. Well, and look at the length of the shadows now. That's what as the sun drops down and it becomes a more oblique angle onto the track cools nicely. And the temperature has dropped off well. So I don't think, he might be ready to go after it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks about that and just brings another lap into those Michelins. But looks like he's at least going to give it a little bit of welly down that front straight. Man, that thing flies.
3.5 liter V6 turbocharged. Makes more power than the race car did.
Yeah.
By a lot. Makes over 2,400 pounds of downforce at 135 miles an hour. And up into turn 4 now. Ben Sloss. This is a car everybody turns their heads at.
Yep.
And to see it in this context is incredibly exciting. Time attack, it's a builder sport, yes, but this is what Ford built.
Yeah, right? There you go. There you go. like you said, this is basically the GTLM car that won Le Mans, won Daytona, all of that, unleashed.
Completely.
Is really what it is, and it is an absolute missile.
And the last of its kind as well.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, though, Sasha Nice got, within a second of this car in that morning qualifying session. And, what Ben does, with the potential of this car, he's got to put in one really good lap, and he should have this, right? But mistakes do happen. Let's see what he does here.
Ben Sloss, he was in the 21s earlier. 23.6. And Coker's got a 135.6, but I think we'll see quicker than that next time around. That might have been even an out lap. But Sloss, I know he can do quicker than this. I know Sasha can go quicker than this. So this is not a time that will solidify him on the top step of the podium. It would be very disappointing to come back and not get it after the weekend he's had. Here comes Nice. Second place at 29.7. That's a warm-up lap.
That's his warm-up, yeah. He's going to get seriously after it right now. That's a nice wide look at him. That was beautiful. That allows you to pick that throttle up and really attack here into 3.
And just so smooth. At Lime Rock, he really put on a show.
Yeah, he did.
Looped the car at the top of the hill, trying everything he could to eke some more speed out in the closing sessions of the day there. Navarra, Radichel have also put times on the board.
I got to tell you, that Mustang of Navarra, local entrant here. And that Mustang, I mean, it's a period Mustang, and it looks like one wicked hot rod. Hope we get some shots of that, but right now, Nice, man, he gets after it. It is something, and he's turned to 22.5 earlier.
Sloss will be coming back to the stripe any moment. Can he pick up on a 23.1? He might need to. Brakes for turn 11 for Sasha Nice in the hybrid 350Z. Kels throttles up. Sloss, I don't see a second time recorded for him. I don't know where he went. Can Nice go to the top? He will not.
So close, though.
Wow. Does he have he might have another transponder on the car. Well, that's weird.
Yeah,
Coker,
that's crazy.
Coker's showing a time, but I haven't seen that car yet, so that's strange.
No, and his.
Because he's running 2 cars this weekend. He's running the Model S and another car in another category. And Ben Sloss, I don't know where he disappeared to, but here he is on the pack stretch heading up the hill. Maybe cooling it down?
Maybe he just either cooling it down, maybe he had a little moment and said, well, I gotta restart my lap here.
This is a risk, though. He's got James Kirkham in the Super Unlimited Mercedes-AMG right ahead of him. And I don't think he wants to catch this traffic, especially with Nice.
Yeah, he's got to clear him, and he's got to clear him smoothly.
And look at the difference in the power here. Yeah. That's 800 horsepower versus 450 right there across the stripe.
Yep.
Sloss 21.7.
There we go.
That's up into the mix.
Yep, his best lap, 21.4, so he's there. But look how deep that Super Unlimited car was able, that Mercedes, once you get out of the horsepower department, that Mercedes got some aero.
Yep, and that's, again, James Kirkham, who's in Super Unlimited, so that car won't earn a trophy here this weekend. That's just an exhibition entry, so to speak.
Yep.
And it looks like Sloss is offline. He's going to let the Mercedes-AMG go back by. And then we wait for Nice. Does he have any response to Sloss?
Yeah, he's got to find something big here.
That hybrid powertrain, you can tune it from anywhere to 100 to 150 extra horsepower from that. Oh,
he's done.
Boy, Sasha Nice turns back into the paddock, and he will concede a victory. And Kels is sitting at the exit of pit out. And all the while you hear Navarra and Radichel in the background. And it's close for the podium. Radichel at a 28.69.
Yeah, I mean, Navarra not that far off either. And there's a little bit of time, not a lot.
And here's, I think that's Radichel. No, that is Navarra.
That's that Mustang. Look at that.
I don't think he's taken the checker. We just got it.
Oh.
This is very different than the other cars we've seen so far.
It very much is. And the other car that it's just sad we don't have in this right now, of course, is Mike Dussold in that 67 Camaro. That was same period as this car, essentially. And who's so fast but had a problem earlier with an off right here, as a matter of fact.
Navarra up the hill, climbing with that V8 screaming under the hood. And he needs to find really about a second to get up onto the podium. I think that's possible.
Yeah.
They'll drop down the hill. Kick the rear out. And through Rainy Curve for the final time. Nice tight line there. He might
too tight.
Yeah, he might have knocked it off here. I think he has.
I think so.
And half throttle. That means to me that that it has wrapped up. And with that, the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship Podium Sprint is complete. Greg, here's a look at your results. Left-hand side of the screen. Sloss and Perkins and the team Cal and Jerry, Andy Vogel, Peter Granberg. Though they win those classes, Dries and Dooling win Street and the Sunday Cup category. A lot of heroes from the Midwest that have driven all the way out here.
Yep.
Took it, but Sloss and you have to give Sasha and Sloss credit there for putting a show on there in the unlimited category. But Track Mod, Brad Perkins stealing it. What a drive he did.
Oh man, that was impressive. To me, what Perkins pulled off there, I think, was the standout performance here. I mean, you know the others, you knew that they had a really good shot at that top spot, and Perkins came out and just found it. That was impressive.
And with Rush SR rolling off the grid here, Greg, we're going to go right into the Rush SR race because we are cooking right now. 5 o'clock here in the Pacific time zone, and with a tight schedule to maintain, we are rolling now with Rush SR race number 4. This is the final race of the weekend, and it's been a fascinating series to follow so far.
Yeah, it really has.
The last race we had a big spin and some calamity in Rainy Curve with a wheel coming loose, but we'll rack them up and stack them up and go again. Why not?
Why not? And it's based on the finishing order of the previous race, so that pesky Stig will start up front once again. But a very, very quick Cole Gama. I mean, what he has turned around his day from yesterday to today. Cole, that bright yellow Rush SR has been impressive. And then Alex Chang, who was the guy yesterday, is still right in the mix here. That's going to be interesting. We got Radman, Hamilton, Forsberg, Billingsley, all awfully competitive. Let's not forget Kaylee Countryman has been really, really impressive after a couple of struggles early yesterday. She has found some serious speed and will be starting up in the 8th spot because that's where she finished. And she had qualified 5th earlier this morning. So she's found whatever the issue was. They've corrected it. She's flying.
Sebastian Beaupre is in 9th. Jacob Gailey in 10th. And Hassan Ahmed in 11th. Mitchell Cooper 12th. Kyle Melnick 13th. David Madison 14th. Brett DiGiacomo 15th. John Parkinson, Gage Hughes, Kelsey Billingsley, Team JC Racing, and John Robinson wrap up the top 20, Greg.
And then it's going to be Vilas Saldana will start in the 21st spot. The Team Rush Central Texas 22nd. 23rd, Grant Anderson 24th, Larry Brady 25th, Bill Wright 26th, Ryan Kircher 27th is Brian Tompkins, 28th is Glenn Deganis, 29th is Bill Lesueur, and rounding out your top 30, Rahul Nair.
Elizabeth Byerly starts 31st place. Michael Schneider, I don't know if we'll see that car again. He's had a tough day. He was out earlier. Ryerson Wissell in the 78 is going to start 33rd. Then hopefully Sheldon Rosenbaum, TJ Hunt, and Andy Vogel will get to go again here because they had great pace, but just didn't work out in the last race. A couple mechanical issues there for a few of those cars.
Yeah, exactly. And in particular, Vogel, who's been getting a lot of track time, he was really impressive in his races up until that problem in this last one. And he could be somebody to really keep an eye on coming through the field.
Well, this racing all year long has been very special. And it's been a great partnership with the Rush SR Series. We hope so much to bring more of it to you next year. And the series debuted with us at this event last year, and I think, Greg, you and I knew then it was going to be something fun to watch. I don't think we knew how fun.
Yeah, these cars are just, for the price point, they are high-performance little prototypes and are really, really fun. And, man, do they put on some racing, and we're about to get our final one of the event.
Last Rush SR race of the weekend, of the season here on Grid Life Live. Thanks for joining us, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Time to go. Here we go. Grid Life Laguna, Rush SR, green flag, and we're underway. Down towards the first corner, already 3 across, as they've been all weekend long.
And a nice launch there. Big lockup, and that can usually mean somebody comes steaming in with too much speed. That was Chang, I think, but he kept it under control. Gamma hangs on to second, Chang, Radman, and then the 2 teammates, Hamilton and Forsberg, side by side.
Cars everywhere leaving turn 2. Forsberg and Hamilton, they leaned on each other a little in race 3. Don't think they meant to do that. They're teammates here. Following Rob Radman into turn 4. There they are, the Sunoco cars side by side. And here comes Billingsley with a run to the right. And there's Countryman as well, swinging out to the left. That's also Gately perhaps in the 27. 3 wide into 5.
Oh, and that's going to be a heck of a squeeze play. And that third car finally just said, yeah, that's tough math. Let's back out of it a little bit and survive to be able to get through the race here. And everybody right now.
Cole Gamma to the end of the road, and everybody seems like they've got a little less grip than they'd hoped for down here.
Yeah, there's some, looks like debris down in that little bit of compression. And when it, as you hit it, it's not going to be a big deal, but you throw it up and the car behind you, that can just spook them for a second.
Nice and tidy down the hill at least. 109 feet, 11.5 stories to the bottom of Rainy Curve. There's Chris Forsberg. He's through his teammate and now closing in on Rob Radman. Alex Chang defending from second, or from third rather. He's been so good this weekend, so good this season, but he would love to cap it off with another victory today.
Yeah,
and Forsberg and Hamilton both
big
have
wide.
issues
Yeah,
there.
that was Forsberg who went way off.
And Hamilton's a little slow too. Both of them didn't get a very good exit. And here comes, somebody came 3 wide up the inside into turn 2, late on the brakes, and a lockup.
I'll tell you what, Beaupre has had a tremendous opening lap, jumping up into that 7th spot. Wow, what a launch he has put together here.
Yeah, Billingsley and Forsberg there running nose to tail. That's a battle for P5. And Forsberg, he was slow again out of a turn 11 like we saw earlier today in race 3. But then in the background, it was Nate Hamilton that went a little bit further off into the gravel.
Yeah.
And Forsberg has a look. Whew. Turn 5 has been such a tricky spot. Hamilton's out. And I think that's Melnick that's going to have a look up his inside here into 6.
Yeah, and I think it was because Hamilton got such a run, and those 2 white cars were dueling, and one of them suddenly had to brake and move wide, and it just parked Hamilton just a little bit, so it's not going to help here. But Gamma, that yellow car, hanging on to that 2nd spot, but this battle for 3rd, Chang and Radman. Radman can be pretty relentless, and we know Chang's skill set. Oh, Radman really close here.
Yeah, he had a great run through Rainy Curve and closed in on Alex Chang. Chang kind of picked center of the racetrack there for the braking zone. Into 11, and a battle for the podium is on here. And for 5th place, I'll tell you, Billingsley and Forsberg have gone to war with each other in the background.
Yeah, they are really scrapping back there. And then behind them, Beaupre continues to have an impressive run. There he is with Countryman, Cooper, and then Hamilton completing your top 10 right now.
Yeah, Beaupre, you mentioned his climb. Countryman in the middle of that 3-car scrap. Hamilton clinging onto the back there, and it was a friendly rivalry between Hamilton and Forsberg at Lime Rock Park. They went side by side quite a bit, but here it seems like Forsberg's had the upper hand this weekend with pace.
Yeah, he's twice qualified legit 3rd yesterday morning and this morning. So showing some real pace. I think, we're still seeing, he's new to the racecraft part of it. And there's been a couple of moments where he may have cost himself a position or 2, but that's all part of it. So we have a full course yellow, Kyle.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what for.
Yeah.
And we'll probably find out here momentarily, but kind of midway through this one, a full course yellow scenario. And it'll bring the field behind the control of the safety car. I am scanning the road. Was there something at the exit at 6? No. Oh,
ooh,
there
up
you go.
Against the barrier there.
Yep.
And just to let you know here, I just was watching this. Schneider made the start. And he started way in the back, and he's about mid-pack right now.
This is
he's 19th.
This is Brett DiGiacomo, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That's stuck by the wall there. Tried to get out of the way as much as he could, but I don't think that they would like to leave him there.
No.
So they're going to get that thing hooked up and hopefully just drag him back around to the pit entry. This should hopefully just be a one-lap and green, I would think.
Yes.
Little stack up there. Let's see. Get under the control of the safety car.
And just tracking Andy Vogel, who had to do a quick out of that big Stormin Corvette into this small prototype and has worked his way almost into the top 20 already. So doing a nice job.
Yeah, I think he's really enjoyed this. I haven't had a chance to talk to him since the weekend started, but he's been looking forward to doing this for basically the entire year. The last time these cars raced here in 2023, he said, I'd like to take a look at doing that maybe next year, right? And after absolutely just demolishing the crowd in Street GT, I think he's looking for a new challenge.
Sure. And we talked about this is a great way to get into some high performance prototype racing. And these cars get after it. And, I wonder if he's thinking, all right, I'm going to do this race. I'm spending a little time in the SR. And then next year, maybe, say, SRX.
Yeah, and that new SRX platform, for those that missed it earlier, this Rush SR starts about $40,000, but there is a new Rush SRX car that comes in at about $80,000 that is going to have a way higher performance ceiling. You've got push-to-pass and DRS and over 300 horsepower in a car that's not much larger or heavier, and that will be currently is being planned to be run in a multi-class configuration here with the SRX and SR together, which I'm really excited for because we don't really have the opportunity to race multi-class. There is a lot of reasons why GLTC has stayed a single class series, but we do that there, and we can do something different here, and I'm all for it.
Absolutely. And, that's the magic, of course, of the GLTC is that, it's high-speed checkers, right? There aren't different pieces out there in terms of different classes, and that's the joy and the attraction of it. But there's something to be said for multi-class racing, and you get two classes of prototype and one that is significantly quicker than the other class. It makes for some fascinating racing.
It does, and I think the SRX is going to be a lot of fun to listen to as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the soundscape of these cars is already it's just fascinating enough.
Yeah.
But more power, more sound.
Yeah.
More everything.
It's visceral.
It is.
And we do love it. That's for sure.
Well, look at the beautiful sights of the corkscrew and Rainy Curve. I heard a myth. I'm not sure if this is real, but when they were paving the racetrack or when they were bulldozing the racetrack, they just told the construction crew to get down the mountain any way they could because lunchtime was coming up. and that was the quickest path down, was that quick left-right combination known as the corkscrew.
I wouldn't be surprised. Back in the era when your course design came from, well, whatever way the bulldozer guy wanted to make that first run, and then you just worked around that. So here we go.
Time to go racing one more time. We'll get at least a lap, maybe two, in Rush SR Race 4 here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, all behind the Rush Stig. Here we go. Green flag, and I think it's a green only this time. We're going to get at least two laps. And here comes Chang to the inside of Gamma from out of nowhere. The red and white car jams it down the inside. He wants P2.
Look at Forsberg going 3 wide around the outside, and he's up along and then got too hot. Just into that gray area. You're going to lose that grip, and look at Radman fighting hard. But Billingsley looks like he may have gone from 5th into 3rd.
Radman and Forsberg going to be fender to fender, leaving turn 3. Somehow they keep it in one piece. And look at this battle. It is Billingsley on the outside of Cole Gamma, and a little wobble from Forsberg. He wants it back.
Yeah, Billingsley, what a restart from him. 5th to 3rd. It's not settled yet. Look at Forsberg stuffing it down underneath Gamma as they're getting ready to head up the hill. He may have made that work.
Turn 5, spin. Somebody's off course in the kitty litter, and they run up to 6, single file. But we could get another full course. If you want a position, get it now.
Oh, that's Forsberg. There it is. That is the turn 6 slide. Comes back on, but wow.
Yep. And all those positions he earned are gone. Up the inside again at the corkscrew. It's Billingsley fighting Gamma. Little contact down the hill, Hamilton.
Ooh. Yeah, Hamilton almost, I think, got it just a little tick in the back there almost. And not sure, but this is just fascinating. And another guy who is absolutely flying right now is Beaupre.
Look at this, Radman boxed in to the right. Like I said, we could get a full course. If you want a position, you need to get it now.
Yeah, that's Beaupre. And oh, he got just a little bit too wide. It's going to cost him.
No white.
Another, at
least two. The 90 side by side. That's Kaylee Countryman.
Man, she's having a run.
Oh, she's going to get sent on down here at turn 2, though.
She just shut that door. Said, thank you, no. And now the problem is we know Radman's fast. And look at him close up.
And here comes Hamilton. Really reliving the drift life there for a second out of turn 3. And he's back. It's Hamilton v. Forsberg. And who is that, the 39, a Cooper in the middle?
I think it is, right in the center here. Here comes Chang, then Gamma. There's Billingsley. Beaupre. Oh, wow, this is just what a last couple of laps we have seen here.
And all the cars at 5 have cleared, so we will stay green.
Oops, somebody stalled, though, at the exit of 6.
Oh, that's a bad spot to be stuck.
Yes, it is.
Got to keep your eyes up here, leaving turn 6 with that car stalled on the right.
We haven't seen this shot of the corkscrew. Look at this. You can just see the serpentine nature. That's why I made my little joke about Lombard Street. It's just that twisty as you fall down here.
Into turn 10 now.
That's Countryman. That's Kaylee on the back of Beaupre. Now Radman going to come down the inside. Kaylee trying to ramp it. What an outside move as she pulls it off. Beaupre hit that curb, bounced him wide. That forced Countryman a little wide. Here comes Radman.
Forsberg in behind Hamilton, and behind them, there's another car that's made some mission moves up the inside there. I think I saw a white flag this time.
That might be Jacob Gailey who's joined this battle here as well. Oh, boy.
10.5. This is getting tight and untidy.
Yeah. Look at that. Side by side through Andretti.
Oh, contact between the teammates there. Forsberg into the back of Hamilton. Go, go, go.
And you see how early Radman picked up the throttle, and he carried a little slide, but he made it work. Dives to the inside. Really aggressive move there, and just sort of scoots. I think that's Billingsley. He just moved right out of the way.
And look at the lunge from Hamilton on 5. And, man, here comes Beaupre back on, I think that was Forsberg there. This is just an all-out bare-knuckle brawl here for about 4th spot.
Yeah, it surely is. Ooh.
They're trusting him with this.
Be careful.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody sees it.
They're trusting him to not make passes here into turn 6. But into 7's fair game, and that was the look. And no, too much. Slide and a spin right at the top of the corkscrew.
Hamilton.
And he got it back straight, and he's going to continue.
Yeah, whoever gave him that little nudge straightened him right out again, and he wisely grabbed a gear and took off here.
This is getting wild here.
It is. Look at this. Lunge to the inside.
Everybody everywhere. Checkered flag. The Rush Stig. He's pit in. It's Alex Chang. He'll win another. Colt Gamma, 2nd place. Then behind him, it's going to be Billingsley.
Yeah.
The podium.
What a drive by Billingsley, Radman, and Countryman.
And 3 wide behind. Schneider to 9th.
What a drive, and Gailey up into 10th as well. But Schneider, look at this in the back row. Is that a spin?
It is a spin, and there's a car backwards.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get it turned around.
Wow.
But that was wild. Told you bare knuckle brawl, Greg.
It was that. TJ Hunt came from right at the back to 16th.
16th place for TJ. How about that?
That's a heck of a drive for him.
And there is the 30 car that has, and that's Saldana.
Yeah.
That has taken some damage in the closing moments. All right. Well, deep breath.
We're done, right? We're done.
No,
we're not.
Oh, we put them all in a blender and do it all over again.
Yeah, we do. And it's going to be just as fierce, I think.
Rush SR Race 4 is complete. Billingsley grabs the podium, but Chang and Gamma, your top 2. We're going to take a quick break, catch our breaths, and we'll be back with GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 4 here on this Saturday afternoon. The last coverage of the day from GRIDLIFE Laguna. We'll be right back.
Stenhouse Jr. has won the Daytona 500.
You spend thousands of hours on the road.
Can he do it again?
Feel hundreds of horses under the hood. But every race, lap, and victory you get starts at zero. New NOS, zero sugar. Zero sugar, 100% NOS, get after it.
Falcon Azenas RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenas RT660.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Darlene Kennedy, Z's sister. She's out here from the West Coast, just kind of giving us a tour of this beautiful vehicle behind us. I don't know if you know too much about it, if Z has given you details, but could you give us a tour?
Z makes a lot of really impulsive and bad decisions, and this seems to be consistent with what she does. So as I understand it, she lost her Sprinter van home, and instead of getting something practical, she bought this thing, which is an ex-military 2003 Stewart and Stevenson LMTV.
What is the gas mileage on this thing? 2?
I mean, why would you? Well, I don't know.
She said, "Don't ruin a good thing, okay?
No,
Just don't ruin a good thing."
That's like asking someone how much money did you spend on your race car. This is not a question.
We don't go there. We don't do that, especially not here in this state, okay?
No.
So, okay, I want a tour of this thing. What's the coolest thing about it? Like, what made her buy this?
Okay, well, there's a number of things that are really cool. Number one, it's 12 feet tall. But there's one feature that it has that I can guarantee you no other vehicle except for the other LMTV here has. And that is, come with me.
This thing is insane.
So it has this hydraulic system that lifts the cab off. This is the spare tire holder, which the spare tire weighs like 300 pounds. Yep. So we need this system to lower and raise it. However, this suspension lower and raise is to lower the whole chassis so that this can be fit into an aircraft carrier or a plane.
What do you do when you hit a bridge? A covered bridge. Sorry, what does Z do?
Well, Z has learned to plan her routes because trailers are pretty tall too, but it turns out it is shorter than a commercial truck.
It is. Okay,
so
cool.
It's okay.
All right, cool, fair enough. And can we get a look inside the cab and what this looks like when you're driving the vehicle? This is what I'm so interested in.
You got to try to get yourself in.
All right. Here we go. Oh, easy peasy. I've been doing arms. Here, I'll hand you the mic.
All right. You got this. Look at that. You know, that's the easiest anyone has ever gotten in here. Oh, so there is another cooler feature that Z would probably say is on par, and that's the M16 holders.
Oh my God, for guns. Okay, so here's like the glove box.
No, this is actually all of the fuses and relays for the whole thing.
Oh my God.
It's actually really cool.
I probably shouldn't just go around touching things, but my intrusive thoughts are winning right now. It's a military vehicle. Oh my God.
Everything is labeled. Everything is organized.
Holy shit.
All the fuses, all the relays.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And all the electrical on this thing has been pretty sturdy. It's been pretty good. Next question. We got a car charger in here. That works.
It has 12 volt and 24 volt. It also has this CTIS, the tire inflation system, so you can inflate and deflate the tires from the cab in case you're in sand.
Yes, for different kinds of
need to make a quick getaway. It also has this grade detection level, but it only ever reads this much.
So how comfortable is it taking this thing long distance?
I mean, we
it's
drove
not a
from
bucket seat, but it's also not like
a suspension seat. It's pretty stiff. Yeah. It's a bit of a rough ride. Plus the tires don't make it any easier. So when Z went and looked at this truck, this box was sitting on the ground, and the guy told her he would, for the same price, just put this box on the truck. So she was like, all right, and here it is. It is a ex-military communications box that used to be pre-wired. It's full of the entire crew's bedding right now. But it's an all aluminum box, has like rigging points everywhere, so that's ready to go. And then of course it has these flip down steps so you can get onto the roof. And these are for lifting it with a helicopter. No big deal. It says lift here.
Well, anyways, guys, you saw it here first. This is the most impractical vehicle in the lot, but it's also one of the coolest. So we are always thankful that Z shows up in something to keep us entertained. Girl, love it. Thank you so much.
Sun, sand, sea, salt, and speed. Welcome back to the West Coast in GRIDLIFE Laguna at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Kyle Heyer joined by Greg Creamer for the last race of the day. This is GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 4. Greg, excited to watch it with you.
Oh, man, I can't wait for this. Based on what we've seen in the previous ones, this should be absolutely fantastic. And on an equally impressive track, this could be absolute magic, really.
I'm so excited to get this underway here.
Yeah.
This is our second festival at Laguna Seca. We have an 8-car invert here for this final race of the day and of the weekend here. But, of course, this GRIDLIFE live production is brought to you by Falcon, the official tire of GRIDLIFE TrackBattle, and NOS Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of GRIDLIFE, the title partner of the NOS Energy TrackBattle Time Attack. The cars are already working their way around this 2.238-mile course, Greg, and we're going to only get one pace lap here. But here's a look at what GLTC is. For those that don't know, you better learn quick. This is a single-class sprint racing series, power, weight, and tire. You can swap engines. You can do all sorts of things, but you balance it with weight. 4 races per weekend. This is the last one, and it's under 15 minutes. This is gridded by race 3 results with a random invert. That invert was 8. That was rolled by your race 3 winner, Justin Ross, who claimed his first victory of the weekend. Greg, he's going to go for 2, but he's got to pass a lot of cars to do it.
That he does, and one of them is the guy who beat him in the first 2 races, Matan Rosenberg, but they were absolutely in lockstep in all 3 races, and Ross able to pull it off. Key thing in that description was no contact. This is if a car has overlap, meaning they've just got a nose up alongside, you've got to give them their piece of racetrack, and it makes for some phenomenal racing. Problem early for the number 47 pulling off. You hate to see that.
That is not great, unfortunately, and he's going to pull off in a great spot. He did a nice job finding a place.
Guess who that is?
That's Justin Ross.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a real shame. After winning race 3, I think he's going to hop out, and he'll be a spectator here, maybe from the corner stand, as we get ready to go racing here for the final race of the weekend in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. Greg, California and the Westward Dream. We've built a 35-car strong field here. One final race.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely amazing. Coming up to the green, Kyle.
Yeah, here we go. The field's a little bit messy. We'll see if they give him the green this time. And they will. Green flag, GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Race 4 is underway from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And it's Aronowskis and Dominici side by side towards turn 1. Peter Zhang has the door open to the inside. We'll see if he jams it down there. He does not.
And here's the thing for Matan Rosenberg. If he wins this, he'll leave here in the point lead. So these early laps, I think he knows he's got pace on everybody else here. It's be clean. Don't risk any kind of damage here. Let things settle a little bit, then go to the front. And a guy I'd lock in right behind if I were Matan at 272 or more.
And for second place, Aronowskis is under fire. One of those cars is Alex Audi. That's the blue car. Then it's Larry Moore, who won race 4 last year. Door slammed shut on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and that was both Moore and Matan got parked there a little bit. They both adjusted beautifully. Matan loves this outside move. He's got the overlap, and he's up alongside Moore. I think he's going to be able to outmotor him, and he's going to get up to the top. Moore is going to stay there. How close.
And he can't keep the throttle in it as they leave turn 6. So Rosenberg is up another position here. Turn 6 is so tight, you have to concede it. And here comes Peter Zhang chasing down Dominici for the lead. We know that 28's fast. Can he potentially pick up his first GLTC win by passing and running away from Dominici in the 173?
Yeah, Jack Wishmeyer is starting at the back, the San Diego Flash, and the reason I think is a penalty. Remember that he broke that right front part of the splitter with that little bit of contact on Zhang. I'm sure he got a penalty for that, so he's got work to do early as well.
Yeah, and look at how tight it is behind Vitas Aronowskis. Now the cork in the bottle here. Rosenberg wants to pour the champagne a little early, doesn't he? 11 minutes to go in this race, and some smoke kicked up in the backdrop from gravel off course.
And that puts Rosenberg now up into third. So Matan really driving I think that was a very smart first lap when he could make a move pretty clean, and even that outside move in 5, he's done that before, did it on Ross at one point, and so he knew what he could do there, made it pay, and now he can start trying to close down on Dominici and Zhang.
Yeah, Larry Moore chasing Aronofsky now, who's just trying to stop the bleeding, as here comes the 272 up the inside at turn 4. We've seen how tight this track can get in that particular section. There's George Kustumbartis in the 20 car, that silver MX-5. And here's Zhang for the lead, turn 5.
Dove down, didn't quite get it done, and actually cost him a little bit of momentum here, but and a problem for Steniford.
Yeah, and he's got a broken spindle or something there on the broken axle or hub or something on the right rear of that car, and it will not move anywhere from there. So if they can drag it from inside the track, maybe, but he might have just had that break when he ran out wide, because I don't see any damage to the car other than that.
Well, and this is, this could be the one big concern for Rosenberg, is a long caution, and we run out of time. It doesn't give him the opportunity to get after it here, and I think that's why we've just seen him really drop the hammer here. He was 3.1 back, and he is absolutely rocketing towards Zhang and Dominici right now, just in case there is a caution that comes out. Look how much ground he's made up, Kyle.
Yeah, and I think for Peter Zhang, the best thing that can happen to him is a full course yellow. There it is, full course caution, and that might have saved Dominici and Zhang. They might not get racing left. If they do, it'll be less time than they have.
Exactly, and now their pace car is really stepping it up and is going to clear them okay. But this is going to be really interesting. Do we get any racing here? And if so, in whatever period it is, can Matan get to the front?
There's 2 cars that have dropped down the order. Steniford is one, and Vo is the other. That's that Lotus Exige.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. It's just the one car that I see. And again, S2000s have a weak point in the rear suspension geometry. They break things all the time. This is not an uncommon sight. I don't see any other damage. So it kind of spun pretty wildly to get there, didn't it? But
it had to have.
See the tire marks lead to it. But the rescue guys will be very quickly on scene to get this car towed, and they'll probably just try to pull it right through that cutout.
That would be smart. Just tuck it if they have to.
Yeah, just get it behind the wall and we can resume. But for Dominici and Zhang, the last thing, there's the Lotus. You see it there on the right.
Oh, yeah.
There's Vo in the Exige. So that car, now it's 2 cars to pick up.
Yep.
So if you're Anthony Dominici, you are just praying.
Yeah, you really are right now.
The next flag is a checker.
Yeah, and we've said it before. You don't want to win that way, but by golly, you'll take it. There's no question about that. And there is another little tuck point just past where that Lotus is on the right. There's a little cutout in the wall that they could stick it to, just to get a little bit more racing in here. And obviously, Rosenberg, Moore, Kustumbartis are all hoping that is exactly what plays out. It's everybody, which means 2 in front of Rosenberg that are, as you said, hoping, well, maybe not here.
Look at the scenes here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, over the hills and the mountains and everything. A couple other drivers to update you on. We saw earlier Kevin Bandy in race 3 have an issue. It was a shifter popping out, so he thinks he's got that resolved. So he's P19. And then George Kustumbartis, let's talk about him for a second. He first ran with us at NCM Motorsports Park way back in 2021, as if that was a long time ago. But he had then moved out to California. We haven't seen him a lot. His first race back with us was Laguna Seca, and then he came out to Willow Springs earlier this year. But I think this is his best run that he's ever had, and I'm really excited to see him, if he could even climb up to another spot. I mean, he's just right there in that MX-5. It's had a variety of different setups under the hood. He's had it turbocharged and I think supercharged at one point. So it's not just any old NB. He's put a lot of work into it.
A lot of work into it, and maybe coming good here. And that's great to see. Somebody that, one, just continues to, like you said, maybe doesn't run the whole season, but shows up and supports this series. And, to see him be able to do what he's going to do here.
Now they're going to flatbed this one. So I don't know. They'll probably try to flat toe the Exige and then put this on a flatbed, but this is going to take a second. Oh, maybe they can't get through that gate.
They could just tuck it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Now the track is also going to get blocked here for a second too, so we might end up with a red actually. Or they'll just be very careful.
Yes.
So recapping the weekend while we've got a moment. We've had all 4 of our Rush SR races, 3.5 of our GLTC races. We've had the NOS Energy Track Battle Podium Sprint. What stands out to you in year 2 versus year 1? It seems to me that the competition level has just stepped up tenfold this year.
Yeah, and I mean, here particularly, one of the things that has really blown me away is, certainly in GLTC, is the local drivers that have come out and been right at the sharp end of things. That's been really cool. And the size of the field here in this second year for GLTC. We saw, obviously, in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship, when it came time for Podium Sprint, a lot of the Midwest guys that run the full season were able to come through and put together really good runs here. But just everything seems bigger this year here, and that's what's cool. The crowd. Obviously, you see that parking area leading up into the corkscrew. It's packed, and I think tonight is going to be an absolutely raucous celebration and party. I don't think there's any question about that. And so that's what kind of stands out for me. I think maybe the standout guy, Justin Ross.
Absolutely, and I think it's a real shame that he isn't able to finish this one on a high note. The points would have been really close, I think, for him and Matan, and it would have been really special for him in his first weekend to take home a trophy in one of the most competitive grassroots racing series in the country. And that competition, we talked about how it stepped up this year and how GLTC has seen a big pickup this year, not only here but elsewhere too.
Oh yeah.
But I think this year the trophy at this event means so much more because this is the California crowd. This is the West Coast showing up to compete. And yeah, there are a couple of our friends from the Midwest up here, but they're giving us a barometer to show us how strong the group out here is. And they have shown up in spades, and look at the performances some of them are putting on this weekend.
Absolutely. And I would like to have seen a one race without any drama for the San Diego Flash. Wishmeyer, because he showed some real speed, qualified well, just a couple of times just a little bit too aggressive in spots, in the race. And that's part of the learning curve. There's no question about it. That's the saddest sight to me there is that car of Ross that's so fast, just parked early. But what a classy move. I mean, he was able to back it off. Whatever the problem was, it was enough where he was able to actually move it into a safe spot. So had we not had these issues, it certainly didn't disrupt the start at all.
Well, the flatbed is flatbedding and the tow truck is towing, so all the safety crews are at work here, and hopefully we can get at least a few more laps in the 2024 Festival Tour season. And the Lotus is pulling away.
I think we just heard the opening lines of a Christmas racing song.
Oh, Greg. Well, we just passed the start-finish, so it will likely be next time by that we'll get a restart. And just some questions from the audience here, just about when are we going to drift again at places like Road America? Well, we don't have the schedule for you just yet, but I'm pretty confident that you're going to see drifting at some of North America's best racetracks again next year. It was a great pleasure, and we were so proud to bring drift to Road America this season, a track that you would not think you could do it at.
Yeah.
And the fans there, the drivers there put on a show.
I didn't make that. Was that full course drift?
Full course drift.
Wow.
Some of it was. We also used the kart track, but there was some full course drift. They focused mostly on 5 through 11, and it was spectacular. And there were some drivers that were really having big sends, and we had some good GLTC racing, some great time attack. And Road America, the National Park of Speed, I mean, it's just one of many great tracks here in North America. This is another. And you've got, on the schedule next year, the return, of course, of Lime Rock Park and Circuit Legends. I can tell you that for sure. But there's just such great racetracks we've been to. Carolina Motorsports Park is a gem in the Southeast. Gingerman Raceway is our home. And, of course, Road America, Lime Rock, and here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. What a group of events, and that's just the festival tour events. Remember that we don't stream everything.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go to grid.life and you can find our club circuit events, those are maybe more entry level as far as the process, getting a little bit less money to drive as a driver. The competition level is still very high.
Oh yeah,
but they're shorter weekends, usually 2-day weekends versus the 3 that we do here. No music or anything. It's really a track day, community building focused effort. and it's a big part of what makes Grid Life.
Some really fun tracks.
Yeah, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course is on there. Willow Springs was on there this year. We've got Thunder Hill coming up later this year is a club circuit event. So if you're out here in California, there are still tickets available for some of the series there, and specifically GLTC. We do have a field that is quite sizable, but we'd love to have some more at Thunder Hill November 16th to 17th, I believe. So it's just a really great way to kind of pick your own path, because some drivers really embrace having everything broadcast and really treating it like a mini pro series, and others just want to race. And we've got both paths. You can do either one or both.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the nice thing, is the way the schedules work. You can do it all if you're so inclined, obviously. But all right, lights are out.
Did get a question about Watkins Glen. In my dreams, I'd love to go back. Everybody knows that. I'll be putting pressure on him forever.
That's
Here
home.
we go.
Yep.
Elantra N, the safety car lights are out. We will see how many laps we get in the closing stages of the Festival Tour season at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Anthony Dominici, Peter Zhang, trying to hold back a driver that, if he wins, will be the points leader heading into the last round of the season. Stacking up for the restart. Is it a white and a green, or is it a green? White and green. One more lap to go.
Oh, boy, it is on. Matan knows the mission here. Look at Zhang. What a start.
Around the outside, Dominici goes defensive, and he might hold up Rosenberg long enough to let Zhang go. But Rosenberg trying to power the outside. He doesn't do it. He slips to the marbles, and Zhang, Dominici are going to battle for the lead.
All right, what can Rosenberg do here now? Opens up the angle. Watch for him, certainly, to do something in 5. He has owned turn 5, and if he can get up alongside, if Dominici defends, you know that Rosenberg will be going through, but then it's a mission on Zhang. But now Rosenberg trying to get to the inside. He's got the overlap.
Yeah, there's no holding back Rosenberg now, not for second at least. Here he comes up the inside at 5. He overdrove it a little bit, though. He's going to hold up Dominici. Peter Zhang running for his life to try to score his first victory in GLTC.
And look at this, Moore and Kustumbardas are in an absolute battle for 4th and 5th.
Kustumbardas
hanging on to it.
Up the hill for the final time, Greg, to the corkscrew. And Peter Zhang, for the first time in his career, has nobody in the windshield.
All right, and now Matan has got to drive a half a lap of the gods if he's going to pull something off here. And Zhang, we know he's got speed and he's got confidence. And but here comes Matan. He has been really quick through here, rolling some speed through 10. Can he do something really aggressive into 11, Kyle?
Peter Zhang goes defensive. It will be a drag race. V8 in the FRS, V8 in the Corvette. Drag race. It's slipping away for Peter Zhang to the checkers, and Matan Rosenberg will deny Zhang his first win. Checkered flag, and he steals it away. Cold-blooded, cold-hearted Rosenberg is your new points leader in Grid Life Touring Cup.
Wow, Moore finishes out the podium. Dominici drops all the way to 4th. Kustumbardas in 5th. Arnauskas, Osmani, a nice run up through the pack. Wood, Audi, and Lapid to your top 10. But what I said, Matan had to drive a half a lap of the gods, and he pulled it out.
Peter Zhang, I know how disappointed he has got to be.
I can only imagine.
Wow. Let's take a quick look here at the results before we take a look at the highlights of that race, of which they were many. Matan Rosenberg with the 3rd win of the weekend. He will win the weekend here at Laguna Seca. He will lead the championship now in Grid Life Touring Cup. Zhang, so close. Larry Moore, Dominici, Kustumbardas, Arnauskas, Osmani, Wood, Audi, and Jason Lapid in 10th spot, Greg.
Yeah, great job. Then 11th is Sundin, Giraldo in 12th, Rushmanov 13th, Mohammed 14th, Sedang 15th. Fiona Liu into the almost a top 15 for Fiona. Welcome. Great to see you. Oscar Jackson finally getting to put some laps in and came from dead last up into the top 20. Great job for him.
Yeah, it's not the race that 47 Justin Ross wanted. He was unscored in this one, but what a race. What a battle.
Yeah.
Highlights for Grid Life Touring Cup, race number 4 here, and it was already a frantic start with that 8-car invert, 3 abreast in the opening corner, and as they leave turn 2, it was all Dominici out front, Greg.
Yeah, Matan right there working some outside lines, clearing Moore. That moved him up into 4th and just trying to move up, and Moore getting really racy here as well. And, the problem was that's actually a little farther back in the pack. Then Steniford having this, and it looked like something broke, and that speared him across the track, and the restart start. Well, here we go.
Yeah, Peter Zhang got a great jump on the outside of Dominici. He was running. Look at the gap that he had to Rosenberg. He might have felt like he was through and clear, but we all know how hard it is. And I think his mistake here was defending. I think had he stayed on the racing line, he wouldn't have given up so much on the exit. It is a mistake he will never make again, Greg.
No, because that was the classic over-under. And Matan just went in wide, squared up, and obviously Zhang just floated a little bit wider than he wanted to. He couldn't do anything about it. And that big torquey V8, even though it doesn't have a lot of power, it still has some torque, and it was just enough for Matan. And I'll tell you, I talked to Matan after the day yesterday, and he made the comment about, he said he has enjoyed racing against Ross so much, and I think he just had that same level of fun running against Peter Zhang. Phenomenal.
Well, it's been a phenomenal weekend here at GRIDLIFE Laguna. The stream has got to end, unfortunately, for 2024. We'll be back in 2025 with so much more. A huge thanks to everybody who puts this event on, the GRIDLIFE staff, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, the stream team that has put this on all weekend long, working in the dark and in the cold and in the fog. They have done an exceptional job all season long. Thanks to the fans for being here and making this a special event. It's been the greatest pleasure of my life to be a part of this live stream. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you next year when we kick things off in 2025 with the GRIDLIFE Festival Tour. Kyle Heyer for Greg Kramer. We'll sign it off.
It is actually one of my favorite events of the year. We couldn't be happier. Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? Come here. All right, guys. Guys, I am here with my top dog. All right, we are closing out this weekend of Laguna Seca. Did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why the hot dog?
Sometimes you just got to be the beef.
Get out of here. All right, everybody, we are closing out this weekend on the Gold Coast at Golden Hour here at Turn 8, the historic corkscrew of Laguna Seca Raceway. We could have not asked for better weather, minus a little bit of marine layer this morning. Other than that, thank you so much for everybody who's been here this weekend, who's been watching on live stream. We love and appreciate you so much. Comment your favorite moment from this weekend, please, as you watch this. And thank you again. From GRIDLIFE to you, we're here, and so is he. So we love you again. Cheers. Have a good night.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg. And when it comes to classics and high-performance cars, I only trust America's #1 racing oil, Valvoline VR1. It's built on Valvoline's long legacy in racing, so I can continue to build my own. With 2 times more zinc than the industry standard, VR1's high-performance formula is tested on the track and trusted on the road to ensure your engine is protected from metal-to-metal contact. And I use it so much, I haven't got my car on the bottle. That's why whether I'm racing or cruising, I protect everything I drive with Valvoline. Valvoline. Trusted for over 150 years.
How'd I do?
Great if you're not looking at the clock.
Sure you got that? I had to be faster than that, right? 100% NOS, 0 sugar coating. New NOS, 0 sugar. Get after it.
For those who demand winning